Yeah. Where's your pants? Where are your pants,
sir?
Yeah, where are your pants, puppets? So, you know, last week, James Vanderbeek passed away at the age of 48. He fought a long and hard colorectal cancer battle. And we're learning more and more about his final moments. And according to People magazine, James Vanderbeek and his wife, Kimberly, renewed their vows days before his February 11th passing. Kimberly told People magazine that they decided 2 days beforehand, describing the ceremony as simple and beautiful and moving. She also shared that the couple's friends got them their new rings, filled their bedroom with flowers and candles, and they renewed their vows from bed. Oh. The ceremony had their family and a few close friends in attendance. You know, one thing that is like reassuring to see is in his final moments, he truly was surrounded by so much love. The people he wanted to be surrounded by, and to, you know, renew. A vow renewal is special. I mean, I don't know anyone personally that's had a vow renewal. You're probably the closest because you talk about it at least, or you said you would.
I have.
Didn't you say you would consider doing it?
I just said I want to put on my wedding dress and see if it fits at the 20-year mark.
Yeah, okay, that's
But
different.
maybe if I have it on, we might as well renew the vows.
Why not?
Yeah.
Well, according to wedding websites online, 10 to 15% of married couples choose to renew their vows at some point in their relationship. The popular milestones, I didn't know 2 years is a vow renewal one.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
2, 5, 10.
Here I'm saying 20 years.
15, 20, and then 50. That's a lot.
Oh, see, in my mind, when you say vow renewal, I guess it could just be between the two of you, a very small gathering. I'm imagining like this big production, like a big party.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well, you would do
like
a big party.
You would do a big. You have like 100 cousins.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So imagine
your family group chat. I don't know how you do it.
That's why my husband's not in that group chat. He's like, I do not want to see what everyone's eating for breakfast. I don't care. You guys talk about nonsense.
Did you take him out of it, or did he take himself?
Out of it. He left the conversation.
Like,
yeah. All right. I think we're gonna go to Samantha.
Me. I expect that invitation in 20 years from now. Good morning, everybody. We're going to take a look at traffic. Good daily traffic brought to you by Jacoby and Myers, injury lawyers. We do have this accident to bring to your attention. We're going to take you out to the Woodland Hills, Calabasas area. 3 vehicles collided here northbound 101 at Fallbrook Avenue. Already the delays are adding up behind that collision. Got tow trucks en route. And the rain continues to fall, more widespread now. Santa Paula, Fillmore, Moore Park, and Assini Valley, the 118, and some light raindrops slowly pushing into the Santa Clarita area. Please slow it down out there if you encounter some of that precipitation. Meanwhile, taking a look at Long Beach, still doing pretty good overall. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
After a car accident, beware of insurance companies bearing small checks. You may feel pressured to settle too soon and for too little money. Choose Jacoby and Myers. We've turned low insurance offers into big settlements. Jacoby and Myers, because everyone deserves justice.
All right.
Let's go to Stu Mandel and Sky Fox with some breaking news there. Stu.
Well, where Gigi is down there in the Pacoima area off of Penny, we just saw the LAPD deploying gas into 3 windows down there on the side of the home. This is where that possibly armed suspect has barricaded himself inside, and this has been an hours-long barricade. We're keeping an eye on them. They did deploy at least 6 rounds of gas, 2 in 3 windows. So in each of the 3 windows, totaling 6. That's the officer that was deploying the gas. Just moments ago, we saw him actually shooting into this window, then that window, and then there's another window right there. Now, you can see some of that gas starting to deploy. Those canisters don't happen instantly. I was trying to listen in. I'm not sure if they were using hot gas or cold gas. If it's cold gas, there's no possibility that this will actually catch fire, but we've seen in the past when they've used something called hot gas that actually could catch some things on fire. Hopefully that's not going to happen down there. Unclear, because I have been listening to Gigi and others. Gigi would make it very, very clear, but I haven't heard exactly if there is a hostage in there or not, if there's still somebody inside there. That gas probably going to be very much of an irritant, and of course we're waiting to see if it's going to be effective and get that suspect out of this home. This is all happening out here on Penny, the 13,200 block in the Pacoima area, and of course Gigi on the ground with more of the accurate information. We're just watching what's actually happening out here. Huge force of LAPD, and they were using that robot that I'm showing you there in the center of the screen. That was out, and it was making rounds out there, and there's a smaller robot that we actually saw them toss on the side of the building, probably more with a camera, but right now still waiting for that suspect to either react or come out from that gas deployment out here in the Pacoima area. I'm Stu, up at Skybox. Back to you guys.
All right, things are going to evolve there really quickly, Stu. Thank you so much. We'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, at the height of his popularity, Michael Jackson's life changed in 30 dramatic seconds when his hair caught on fire during the filming of a Pepsi commercial. You may recall that. Many close to him say that is what led to his obsession with plastic surgery, addiction to narcotics, and eventually death.
TMZ reveals never-before-seen footage of the 30 fatal seconds in the all-new TMZ Presents Michael Jackson 30 Fatal Seconds, airing tonight right here on Fox 11. Here's a sneak peek.
They had a stretcher there. They put Michael in it. And he was in pain.
He had severe pain. I believe that the Pepsi commercial was what led to the downfall of Michael.
I'm surprised he didn't end up owning Pepsi after that because of how severe it was.
Wow, not prepared for any of that. Wow, joining us right now, TMZ's Harvey Levin. Harvey, hi. Unbelievable. First of all, why did it take so long for this footage to surface?
Well, we were making lots and lots and lots of calls and finally found somebody who actually had a lot of this footage that has just never aired, never been seen. And it's relevant because you get an idea of why it happened and who's responsible when you look at it from different angles. But I will kind of underscore here, that commercial is a direct cause of Michael Jackson's death. You can trace what happened at the Shrine Auditorium in 1984 to what happened to Michael Jackson in Bel Air in June of 2009. There is a direct connection. He was never a drug addict. He didn't take drugs before that commercial. He was never a plastic surgery addict. He hadn't had plastic surgery until that commercial. And there are so many people who enabled the addictions rather than righting the ship because they just wanted to be around a celebrity. And we get into that as well.
Hey, Harvey, we have some breaking news we're going to have to get to. We're going to get to you a little bit later, but thank you for that, and we'll get right back to you, Harvey. Thank you. We're going to go right back to Gigi Graciette. She's there on the ground in Pacoima with the latest on this standoff. Gigi.
That's right. The SWAT team, LAPD, introducing tear gas into the home where this burglary suspect has been barricaded for almost 5 hours now. This all happening on Penny and Ralston. You see SWAT team members rushing into the home, and that is because the house is now on fire. Again, this is all happening on Penny and Ralston in Pacoima. It started at 2:40 this morning with a report of a burglary suspect. He broke into that house where a senior citizen was living. She managed to run out and get to safety, and he has been barricaded inside ever since. SWAT team has the house surrounded with their armored vehicles. LA City Fire is also here on the scene. They were already standing by. Police reporting they are seeing active flames inside the house. We can see the smoke coming out from inside the house. Unclear how the fire started, but this happened about less than 10 minutes after that tear gas. Those ferrets were introduced inside the home in hopes of pushing the suspect, bringing that suspect, and putting a safe into this. Now, neighbors have been evacuated. I see LA City Fire. Their units were stationed just a couple of blocks away. They're off to the left here on Ralston. They have now been called in, but obviously a very dangerous and tense situation because the suspect does have access to a gun inside the bedroom where he's been barricaded. You can see the SWAT team members running there, and there is LA City Fire. SWAT team's going to provide cover for those firefighters as this home continues to burn. You can see that dark colored smoke coming from the house right on the corner of Ralston and Penny. The homeowners are standing by nearby. They have told police they know exactly who this guy is. He used to live not far from here on Mercer. He's in his 30s. His first name is Esteban. We've heard them use that name on the loudspeaker, asking Esteban to come out to surrender peacefully. He has chosen not to. He is still believed to be inside that house, which is now on fire. We can only imagine how those homeowners are feeling right now as they watch the smoke coming from their home here in Pacoima. Again, a very dangerous and tense situation here. That suspect does believe to be armed. There is a gun in the room where he's been barricaded for the last several hours, and SWAT team members have seen him several times peeking his head out. I see LA City firefighters off to the left. You may not be able to see it on camera. They're getting their hoses out. They're going to do their best to get water on this, and you see SWAT team members running in and out from the house. They did put a robot inside the house. And we see right there they are breaking into the house right now, trying to make access. The room where the suspect is barricaded, though, does not connect to the rest of the house. So that poses a whole other challenge. The fire appears to be in front of the house. It's believed the suspect may be in the back room, a room that is not connected to the rest of the house, according to what homeowners have told police. They know this suspect. They say he used to live here. He's accused of assaulting a woman who lives on the block, so police are also familiar with him. And neighbors have said that recently they've seen him breaking into a home on this block that is vacant, and they believe he's been living there. So again, they've identified him to police. Police believe they know exactly who this guy is. He's 33 years old. He's got a record. He's got an active police report filed against him for assault on a woman who lives here. And you are looking live from our Eye in the Sky Skyfox up above as the SWAT team works with LA City Fire to get water in, and they just went inside the house. They got that door open, but we're not sure if that's the door that connects to the room the barricaded suspect is in or the rest of the house. But the idea is to try to get water on this fire as soon as possible, obviously to save these people's home. This guy broke into their home. Police reported he was running from backyard to backyard at about 2:45 this morning. And as he ran and as he jumped fences and people were calling 911 to say, hey, there's a guy in my backyard, he was also trying doorknobs. So very tense situation. He finally found either a door that was unlocked or a window, and he smashed his way into the house, either through the window or the unlocked door. We're not 100% sure. There was an older lady inside. She told police she saw this guy break into her room. She ran out as quickly as possible. She is safe. Thankfully, that could have been a much different situation. We hear more firefighters arrive on the scene. Again, you are looking live at hopefully the end of a barricade situation here in Pacoima, Ralston and Penny. The home where this barricaded and armed suspect is in is now on fire. This happened about 10 minutes or less after LAPD SWAT team shot in what they call ferrets. That's basically tear gas. The idea is to smoke the suspect out, to make the conditions in there so unbearable with that pepper spray like smoke that he would come out. That has not happened yet. We're not hearing that the suspect is out of the house yet, but the house is surrounded with the armored vehicles from SWAT. There are Bearcats. The K9 units are also standing by. They've made these announcements on loudspeakers. He's peeked out several times. He's seen the SWAT team here, so he knows, obviously, that they're here.
Gigi, for the firefighters and for police officers here, because there were reports that this suspect could be armed. So here they are, going through these windows in plain view, trying to put out the flames, trying to put out this fire, and still the suspect has not come out. And so it also poses a danger to the firefighters, the police officers. We did see them make an entry there to that and looks like they're going to go in there now and try to make further entry into this place too. But it still could be a danger.
It's also interesting because we're seeing the firefighter and the police officer, the SWAT team, right, juxtaposed right next to one another.
They're side by side. You've got a firefighter with a hose line and then a police officer with a rifle trained in that same direction. Both of them trained at the same direction at the same time, Gigi.
You know, our first responders, they train together. LA City Fire, LA County Fire, work with police agencies and train for these worst case scenarios. And obviously SWAT now, one of their priorities, their top priority, is to keep those firefighters safe. We also saw some SWAT officers grabbing a hose themselves to try to keep as few firefighters as possible back. But obviously the firefighters needed to fight the fire, and SWAT now has two situations on their hand. They've got to keep these firefighters safe, and they also have to worry about this suspect who does have access to a gun in the room where he's been barricaded for hours. And since he's refused to come out, they do not know what he's capable of. They're familiar with him. They have a police report against him for assault. He's facing charges on that. He's also facing charges for breaking into a vacant home. He's been terrorizing a lot of the folks on this block who apparently are very scared of him. Nobody wants to go on camera. No one wants to talk about him, but everybody seems to know who the suspect is.
Yes, this is quite a sight to see the SWAT and firefighters working side by side, and it's so challenging because not only does that SWAT officer have to be concerned with protecting his or her own life, but also protecting that firefighter that they are positioned right next to. So it is a bit of an unusual scenario. And Gigi, apologies if you mentioned this, but just to reiterate, if you haven't, have they been in communication at all with this individual? Have they been able to speak to him aside from just calling out his name?
They have spoken to him many times, but he's not speaking back. They've been using their bullhorns, their loudspeakers. They have seen him looking at them. He's been peeking his head out a window. I don't know exactly what time was the last time they saw him do that, but they're confident he does remain barricaded in that room. He has not initiated any communication with them. It does not appear that they have any cell phone number on file for him. Now, SWAT continues to be at the house. They continue to scream, come out, come out. You can see them there, our live view, both on the ground here with photographer Tony Butita and Skyfox with Stu Mandel above all of this. And if you're just joining us here on Good Day LA, this is all unfolding in Pacoima on Ralston
someone's in custody,
Penny.
Gigi. Someone is in custody. We see someone, a shirtless man, being taken out. He has been detained, being pulled out by some SWAT officers here in the very entryway that they went in before. He's wearing shorts, bald, and has some tattoos. But it does look like they have someone. We can presume that this is the suspect that they have in custody. They're just bringing him out right now. I don't know if you see that.
That's right, and I can confirm the SWAT team just put the call out. They do have the suspect in custody. They have the barricaded suspect, the man who's been inside that house for over 5 hours now. They do have him in custody, and the smoke has stopped coming out from the home. You know, priority for firefighters and police officers, people and then property. So they've been able to save the house, hopefully not a lot of damage, but they do have the suspect in custody. You're looking live at Skyfox at that shirtless man they have just taken out of the house. This after he broke into a home where there was a senior citizen, a woman who told police she saw this guy break in, and she didn't hesitate. She immediately ran out. And there you might be able to make out more LA City firefighters arriving on the scene. They're running in with a ladder because they've got to make sure that fire is completely out. There are no hot spots. Just a very tense situation. And not to mention, a lot of the neighbors, Bob and Araxia, were evacuated early this morning for their own safety because no one knew what this guy was capable of doing. So these folks have been out of their homes since 3 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, a tense situation on so many levels. First, you've got a suspect coming into a home believed to possibly be armed, evacuations taking place to make sure everyone is safe there, and then several hours later, after grenades thrown into this house, smoke grenades to flush the person out, the home set on fire, to think that your home could also catch fire too. So really a lot of moving parts when it comes to this operation here. Firefighters working hand in hand with the SWAT team to bring this to a conclusion. It certainly were some big tense moments there. We see now firefighters on the roof, so they're still trying to put out this fire, maybe to
just make sure
to put
there are
some
no
ventilation
hot spots, right.
into the roof here.
That's right.
As well. Yeah, it looks like they've got
It's
some
very
cutting
common,
tools.
Bob and Araxia. It's very common, Bob and Araxia, during these situations. LAPD will always call in LA City Fire and have them stand by with a rescue ambulance a few blocks away in a safe area. But they are on standby should they be needed, not only for fire, but for any medical assistance, for police officers or for the suspect. And you see them, what they're going to be doing right now, most likely, is they're going to make a hole in that roof to air out the attic and find whatever it is wherever the place is that fire started, to make sure there are no hot spots and to make sure the fire is completely out. But it has been deemed safe now for LA City firefighters to enter, and I see more and more LA City fire resources arriving here on the scene. This is, I also start to see the SWAT officers moving back from the scene because the suspect is in custody. This is the end of a barricaded burglary suspect, a man who neighbors say has been terrorizing this neighborhood. He used to live here. He's accused of assaulting a neighbor here. He's accused of breaking into a vacant home where he reportedly had been living. And this morning, at 2:40 this morning, a homeowner called to say this man had broken into his garage. He then broke into another home where there was a senior citizen. She got to safety, but he was barricaded inside ever since about just before 3 o'clock this morning. So you are watching the end of this barricade situation. And after LAPD SWAT team introduced that tear gas, that pepper spray-like gas, to force the suspect out, we saw fire start inside the house. No word yet, of course, on how that fire started, but we are starting to see the SWAT team members come out of the house. That suspect is in police custody.
Gigi, we're so glad to know that occupant of that home made it out safely before all of this, of course, transpired. But what happens to that individual's home? That individual's home is damaged as a result of everything that occurred. Who is responsible for that damage? Do we know in circumstances like this?
Well, LA City and LA County and the state of California has victim compensation programs for people who are victims of crime. They can apply for some type of compensation. They'll have to determine exactly, did the suspect start the fire? How did the fire start? And go from there. We did get a quick look at the suspect. He does appear to have some burns, some injuries. So we expect to see a rescue ambulance. It's standing by a few blocks away.
Right now, Gigi.
Also treating that suspect. Okay, you're seeing that. You've got a great perspective from
kind of like a stretcher, so to speak, and he's going to be put into, I don't know if you can see that ambulance in front of you, but the LA City fire paramedic there, now they're just put him right into that paramedic vehicle, ambulance, and gosh, this is a suspect that's now going to be taken to the hospital to be checked out.
That's right. He'll be taken, escorted, of course, by LAPD officers. We're going to give you another live look here from the ground in just a second. Photographer Tony Butita, we're being allowed in a little bit closer. And if you come to our ground camera, you'll be able to see the suspect in the back of that rescue ambulance. Right now, LA City Fire paramedics tending to the suspect. He will be taken to a hospital to be checked out for those injuries and to make sure he's in condition to be booked. And once he's cleared by medical personnel, then he will be booked. And he's going to be charged with a long list of felonies, including burglary and break-in, and he has a lot of other charges he was already facing.
Right, a code 4 here, but certainly a dramatic ending here to this long standoff when you have the end of a muzzle and the nozzle of a fire hose pointed in the same direction. Firefighters and police officers, SWAT team members side by side trying to bring this to a peaceful conclusion.
All right, Gigi, thank you. Appreciate you being there and bringing us all of those developments. An eventful start to the morning.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing we're keeping a very close eye on this morning, obviously, is the rain.
Absolutely. We are definitely going to look for another round of some rain. The good news is this system is not as potent or as strong as the previous two systems. That being said, though, we are going to look for widespread rain, so that's going to just exacerbate the problems we've already gotten right from the first two storms. We are anticipating the start of the rain now, the leading edge of it moving into parts of LA County, parts of the valley, as you can see some of the green showing up on the map, and then some spotty showers here and there across parts of Orange County and even into the Inland Empire. Parts of Santa Clarita out to Pacoima, actually, some light drizzle, Fillmore, so some light showers beginning to move in, and it will just get a little bit more moderate to occasionally heavy at times as we get to the remainder of the morning and into the afternoon. 43 currently in Pasadena. It is cold. 47 in Burbank, 47 in Ontario, 25 in Big Bear to that 50 degrees in Palm Springs. High temperatures today are not going to be very warm, so definitely you'll need that jacket or layer up today. Temperatures in the 40s for the high desert areas, 62 in the Palm Springs area in the Coachella Valley, low 30s up into the mountains with snow in the forecast. So great news for our local mountains. 56 in the downtown LA, valleys, Inland Empire to that 59 along our coast, with several weather alerts in place, including a high surf advisory. I'll go over all those, show you the exact track and timeline of this next storm coming up, my complete forecast. But first, let's check in on traffic. We do have Samada with a look at our roads. Hey, Samada.
Good morning, Marie. Good morning, everyone. It is busy out there. We've got 2 SIG alerts currently in effect, and we're going to bring your attention to the latest one in Orange County. If this is where you're heading, we are picking up raindrops, overturned vehicles, southbound side of the 405 at Seal Beach Boulevard, up to 3 to 4 lanes shut down due to this incident. We've got emergency crews head to the scene, and already look at the backup has delays right there into the 605. Here's a look at the 101 at Fallbrook Avenue. This is now a SIG alert where the fast lane is being taken away due to this 3-vehicle crash, and the delays also continue to add up. And rain, as Maria mentioned, we have been tracking now more widespread across areas of Camarillo, Moore Park, along the 118. Please be careful on your drive, and more rain is on the way. Back to you two.
All right, Samada, thank you. That third storm, let's keep talking about it. You know it's going to cause some problems out there.
Yep. It's right on our doorstep, and Mario is live in Sherman Oaks with a look at the situation there. Still dry, Mario. Good morning.
Yeah, just a minute ago, we actually started feeling some misting. It seems like showers are on the way, and we've had a little bit of sprinkling here throughout the morning. But for the most part, as you said, it's been dry. And this here in the San Fernando Valley, a trouble spot just off the 405 and the Sepulveda Basin area. Take a look. Let's show you what these storms have done so far this week in the San Fernando Valley. You can see heavy rain led to water covering streets across multiple areas. Some freeway lanes also flooding during the peak of the storm, and drivers dealt with standing water, temporary road closures, and slow-moving traffic as conditions quickly got worse. And now let's go to another part of the San Fernando Valley. In North Hollywood, several cars became stuck Tuesday after driving into deep water, leaving vehicles stranded in the middle of flooded streets. And you'll see a Metro bus forcing its way through the water as drivers waited for help or for conditions to improve. And drivers this morning say it's already been a rough week on the roads, and they don't expect today to be any different.
traction could get a little crazy, you know, and, you know, people could swerve and slip. It's pretty dangerous, you know what I'm saying? It's really dangerous.
All day long, the water just like sweeps in and, you know, people are getting their cars stuck. The Teslas are hydroplaning.
There's been a lot of floodings. Essentially, I mean, there's times when you can't even see the road. So much downpour, so much just heavy rain that you can barely see.
And this is how we started off the week in Van Nuys. Flooding, a recurring issue in this area. Heavy rain quickly overwhelming streets, leaving water pooling in low-lying areas. And in some spots, that water rose so fast it forced drivers to turn around, while others risked getting stuck trying to make it through. Now, coming back out here live, we are in Sherman Oaks, and we've been watching the cloud cover here build above us. The winds now starting to move through. And again, it's been dry for the most part this morning, but very chilly conditions in the 40s as we wait for that next round of rain, and we can see it on the radar. More of it on the way. For now, live here in Sherman Oaks, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, Mario, thank you so much. At 8:09 now, still to come, that tragic update on the missing skiers near Lake Tahoe. We'll tell you what's going on there now. Also, the first high-profile arrest in connection to the Epstein files overnight. News broke of former Prince Andrew's arrest, what we know about that situation, and what King Charles has to say.
Rescue crews in Northern California are still looking for one missing skier following an avalanche near Lake Tahoe. It's now considered a recovery operation. The bodies of 8 other people were located yesterday. The group, which included several guides, was part of a ski team on a 3-day trip. The 6 survivors huddled together for 5 hours trying to stay warm until rescue crews arrived. At some point during that trek, a massive avalanche around the size of a football field buried much of the group.
These guides, they have their routes, they do their research, but sometimes with the elements, with the snowfall, with the temperatures, with the wind-blown area, it's not always the same. And I'm sure they were definitely prepared for it. And like I said, sometimes Mother Nature just has something else in store.
Those 8 bodies remain buried in feet of snow, and officials say it's too dangerous to recover them or search for that 9th victim, at least for now. With more snow falling, the threat of more avalanches remains strong. We're following breaking news from across the pond. Police say they have arrested former Prince Andrew on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Sandra Endo is here with the latest developments. Good morning.
Good morning, Bob. Yes, police arrested the son of late Queen Elizabeth, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, as part of an investigation tied to newly released Epstein files. This comes as investigators examine allegations that he shared confidential trade information during his time as a UK government envoy. Thames Valley Police, which serves areas of west of London, confirmed today they arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office. As part of the investigation, police are searching properties in Berkshire and Norfolk as well. While they didn't name him directly, the details do match the former prince, who's the 66-year-old younger brother of King Charles. Investigators claim Mountbatten Windsor maintained ties to Epstein, even sharing confidential information with him after previously saying he cut him off. The former prince has long denied wrongdoing related to Epstein and previously settled a civil suit brought by one of Epstein's accusers. I spoke with a royal expert this morning who talks about the gravity of this case.
This is the first time a senior royal in modern history has been arrested. You've had minor infractions with Zara Zindel and Princess Diana having speeding violations, and Princess Anne was convicted of a minor crime in the 2022 of the dangerous dogs violation, but she was not arrested. For a serious issue like this, you have to go back to the 17th century when King Charles I was arrested for treason in 1647. That is how big a deal this is. No royal member has been arrested in modern history.
Pretty unprecedented, especially in modern times. This arrest marks the most serious legal step yet in former Prince Andrew's public fall from grace. He was stripped of his royal titles last year amid the fallout from his ties to Epstein and no longer carries out official royal duties. King Charles did issue a personal statement this morning saying in part, quote, "Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all." Under British law, police typically can't hold a suspect for longer than 24 hours without charges unless granted an extension by the court. And in Britain, a charge like this does carry a maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. Developments, though, are coming out by the minute, so we'll continue to keep you posted as it comes into our newsroom.
Yeah, there's no doubt going to be more reaction coming from Great Britain over the next coming hours. I think the Prime Minister even spoke out to, basically they're all saying no one is above the law.
That's right.
Here. And you can see from the statement from King Charles that he is distancing himself, or like the royal family is really trying to distance themselves from sadly, his own brother.
His own brother,
Yeah.
putting full confidence and trust in the legal process and the police there in terms of the investigation into this. Definitely, he wants to keep a distance from anything related to Jeffrey Epstein in this case as well. And I spoke with that royal expert about Sarah Ferguson, who you see right there. She was mentioned in the Epstein files as well, having communication with him. And he says, as at this point, there's no real evidence of any criminal wrongdoing, so it doesn't seem like she will be punished in terms of this, but it's all about public perception at this point, and what it does to the monarchy is certainly not a good light in this case.
All right, former Prince Andrew turning 66 today. It was his 66th birthday, and he does deny that he had any wrongdoing in anything related to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, well, he's going to keep saying that, but if you read the files, well, there's a lot in there. There's a lot in there that can... It's insane. Okay, all right, let's talk about this, because this I can really talk about. We've got an area of low pressure here that is up to our north, and the cold front is pushing down to the south, and this is what we are anticipating. This is storm 3 of 3 storms that we have been talking about all week, and luckily this is the weakest of the 3 storms, so that's a good thing. But that being said, it's still going to give us some impacts by way of rain, some mountain snow, as well as some gusty winds, and of course that's going to exacerbate some of the problems that we've already gotten right from storms 1 and 2. So this will bring us another round, and then as this passes, I would say by later this afternoon and evening, I think rain will taper off to just some scattered showers, and then that will start the drying trend as we get into tomorrow and the remainder of the weekend. In the meantime, we do have winter storm warnings that are in effect for our mountains again. So if you have to travel up to the mountains, maybe delay it if you can, but if you have to, make sure you bring your emergency gear, the extra flashlights, the food, the blankets, just in case road conditions really deteriorate. And speaking of that, call 511 just to make sure you're aware of the latest in terms of the changes that are needed and where those stops are. High wind warnings are still in effect for portions of the high desert. We've got wind advisories, and some of these wind gusts are still quite strong, expected with some of these downpours that could occur. There's a chance for some thunderstorms, and if that occurs, that can give us those heavy downpours and gusty winds near 55, even 65 miles per hour in some of those isolated areas. So keep that in mind as you plan ahead to the remainder of this morning and this afternoon. 56 degrees for downtown LA. That's it. It's going to be a cold day, and it will be even colder tomorrow after that front passes. It's cold front, so it's packing some cold air. Anaheim, we've got some light showers expected in the next hour, and then it'll be more widespread rain before it starts to taper off the latter part of this afternoon. Thousand Oaks, you're getting some light showers now. Temperatures in the 40s, and then it'll get to maybe 54 degrees, and then those winds really kicking in. You'll be able to tell when that front has passed. That wind will then be coming out of the northwest, and it will be a colder one, so you'll know that cold front has passed you if you're in Ventura County. Big Bear, we're expecting quite a bit of snow again, especially above 6,000 feet. Those temperatures today staying near the upper 20s as we get to 2 p.m. this afternoon. All right, I'll show you the 7-day forecast coming up just a few minutes. In the meantime, stay with us. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Welcome back. Armenian officials are in Southern California this week. They are meeting with community members following what they are calling a historic moment in US-Armenia relations. The chief advisor to the Prime Minister of Armenia says Vice President J.D. Vance's visit marked a turning point for the strategic partnership between the two countries.
Last week's historic visit by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance was an important milestone because it was the first time a sitting vice president has visited Yerevan, first of all. But it also signifies the depth of the relations between Armenia and the United States, and that the strategic partnership that was signed last year is not just a piece of paper, but things are happening on the ground practically.
The visit included agreements on peaceful nuclear cooperation, expanding energy collaboration, and growing defense ties. A key part of this trip is also to engage and inform Armenian American community here in Los Angeles, one of the largest in the world, about rapid developments back in Armenia.
Very important developments have taken place between Armenia and the United States recently. As one of the biggest communities in the world, I think Armenian Americans should feel empowered by the recent developments between our two governments. So it is very important for us to keep them informed, and in case there is anything that we can do to engage them in projects, hopefully, and in future economic and trade projects, that would be very important for us.
Officials say discussions will focus on bilateral relations, regional peace efforts, economic cooperation, and addressing misinformation ahead of Armenia's upcoming elections. 8:25 is your time. Coming up later, some very famous puppets and their performers behind them are taking over our studio. We'll tell you about an outrageous improv comedy show, Puppet Up Uncensored.
And unbelievable, never-before-seen footage of Michael Jackson's horrific accident while shooting a Pepsi commercial being shown for the first time ever in TMZ Presents Michael Jackson 30 Fatal Seconds. Those close to him talk about how he was never the same after, and how those 30 seconds changed his life forever. This airs tonight right here on Fox 11, 9 o'clock. everybody.
Stormy weather's getting to Maria.
Well, I mean, she's busy. She has a lot going on.
It's your favorite day today.
I know. I love it. I love talking about this stuff. You know, we don't get to talk about it very often.
The weather?
Yeah,
the
rainy weather.
Wait.
What are you talking about?
If viewers only saw the commercial break.
Listen, I mean, I can tell them we have discussions in between stories. And of course, we're still talking about what happened in the UK. That is unprecedented what happened. So that's going to dominate a lot of conversations.
Right.
So that is what's happening. So I wish we could go into it a little bit more, but we have other pressing stories to talk about. At least I do. We have to talk about the rainy weather that's coming because this is Storm 3 of 3 storms that we have been watching all week. My goodness. I mean, are we done yet? I know what you're saying. But you know what? I have some good news as I walk over to the green screen. This is the 3rd of 3 storms. This is also not as strong as the previous 2 storms. So while we will be looking at some widespread rain, I don't think we'll have the exact same impacts as the first 2, especially the first one. That one was very strong. Right now, we're looking at some light rain, mostly light to moderate showers moving into parts of Santa Clarita and the Valley and Canyon Country here. We're looking at mostly light showers here through parts of Malibu, and that's going to make its way south into LA County as well as Orange County and the Inland Empire. It's about time. We started with some really dry, warm conditions this month of February. We had that storm last week, and then this week, of course, 3 storms in just 4 days. So we accumulated quite a bit. Impressive rain totals, 1/3 of an inch again yesterday, or a little over that. So for the month so far, we have had 3.29 inches of rain, and more is expected today. So we're going to add a little bit more to the bucket. For the season, we've received 17.4 inches. That brings our surplus to almost 8 inches of rain. So we're doing really well this season. Outside, if you're out and about, it does not look like SoCal. It looks more like the tropics with everything so nice and green. 56 degrees expected for downtown. That's below average. So definitely grab that jacket. That sun will set later at 5:41. I'll show you that 70 forecast when I come back. But first, a look at traffic conditions. We've got Samara with all those details. Hey, Samara.
Good morning, Marie. Good morning, everyone. Still busy out there, and unfortunately, a brand new crash. Now the rain is slowly starting to move in. This is going to be along the 5. Oh, yes. Unfortunately, southbound side of the 5 at Templin Highway, vehicle spun out, taking away the fast lane there, and you can already see some rain droplets coming across that area. And speaking of raindrops, we've got more precipitation, making roadways really slick along that 118 stretch, and especially if you're heading out to Fillmore, that roadway is going to be a problem, and into Thousand Oaks, looks like some slowing due to the rain that's coming down. Here's a live Caltrans camera. Things are getting a little wet there. You can see the droplets on the camera, both directions of the 101 at Balboa Boulevard through Encino. At least traffic is moving along right now. Back to you two.
Get to that breaking news we've been following this morning. Thank you, Samara. A burglary suspect barricaded inside a Pacoima home has now been taken into custody.
Oh, it's quite an eventful morning. Let's go to Gigi right now to tell us LAPD SWAT arrested that man after a fire in that home. It was quite a sight to see. Good morning, Gigi.
And almost 5 hours after he became barricaded inside a home that he broke into. Good morning, everyone. A very dramatic end to this situation that started with a report of a burglary. You are looking live. We are on Ralston and Penny Street here in Pacoima. LA City Fire still on the scene, making sure there are no hot spots. There is no residual fire. They are still trying also to determine how the fire started. You can see them bringing their ladders out right now. But take a look. This is the moment that LAPD SWAT team members actually went into the home, and they went in because the fire had started. You see, they take that suspect. He's shirtless. You can see his tattoos. They take that suspect out of the house because even with the fire, even after they had shot chemical agents, which basically like pepper spray, to basically force him to give up, to make the situation so unbearable, he still had not come out. And it is apparent that he had some minor injuries, possibly burns. There you see the fire starting. This was less than 10 minutes after LAPD SWAT team had introduced those chemical agents, after they had shot what they call ferrets. They had surrounded the house with their Bearcats, their armored vehicles. They used bullhorns. They set up speakers. They sent in a robot. They did everything and anything to get this guy, to convince him to come out peacefully. But for almost almost 5 hours, he refused to do so. And you can see the flames burning inside the home that he broke into. Now, this all started at 2:40 this morning here in Pacoima when someone on Penny Street reported a burglar inside their garage. Police arrived quickly. When they did, they saw him jump out the garage window, and that's when he began running. He ran from backyard to backyard, jumping fences, and as he went, police could see him trying doorknobs, looking for an unlocked door or any point of entry, and that's when he got to the home that's almost on the corner of Ralston and Penny, and he went in either through an unlocked door or he broke in through a window. It's unclear how he got in, but inside the room, there was an older lady, and you can only imagine how terrified she was. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning to see this man breaking into her house. She didn't think twice. She immediately got out of there, and police helped her to safety, thank goodness, and the barricade situation was on with the suspect refusing to come out. By then, neighbors had come up to police and tell them that they knew who this guy was. He was a former neighbor. He lived on Mercer, just around the corner, and they say he had assaulted a woman recently on this block. They gave police his name. Police were also familiar with him, and they also told them that in the recent days he had been breaking into a home that's vacant here, apparently living inside the empty house and basically terrorizing this block. So now police knew who he was. They used the loudspeakers to call him out by his first name, by Esteban, but again he refused to come out until police went in after him because of that fire. You are looking live, our eye in the sky. Skyfox above the situation. LA City Fire still here on the scene. The suspect is in custody. He was taken away by a rescue ambulance under police escort. Of course, he's being taken to the hospital to be checked out for those injuries, and then he will be booked, and he's facing a long list of felony charges. Reporting live this morning, I'm Gigi Graciette. I'll send it back to you.
Quite a dramatic story there, Gigi. Thank you so much. Southwest Airlines customers will soon be able to stream your favorite shows from any platform, watch live sports, download music, play games, work, and connect with loved ones from takeoff to landing. The airline plans to start integrating Starlink Wi-Fi across Southwest's network of 11 countries this summer. Southwest says Starlink will be available on more than 300 planes by the end of this year. The SpaceX-engineered low Earth orbit satellite system will enable customers to stream, share, and scroll in the sky at lightning-fast speeds. Southwest says it'll be the fastest Wi-Fi in the sky.
A surprising new study is completely flipping the calendar when it comes to booking flights. Say goodbye to booking flights midweek or months in advance. It turns out that really doesn't matter much anymore at all. According to Expedia's 2026 Air Hacks report, the cheapest day of the week to book and fly is now Friday.
Wow, I thought it was, okay, wow.
I always thought it was Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
No, Friday. Expedia says a Friday flight could save you up to 8% compared to a Sunday flight. However, within the U.S., Tuesday's still the cheapest to fly domestically, saving you on average 14% compared to, say, a Sunday flight. Experts say a shift in business class behavior is what's driving this, with more workers flying home earlier in the week. The report also finds the cheapest month to book is July, and the cheapest month to fly is August.
Yeah, there's no holidays in August.
And who flies on a Tuesday? I mean, if you're going to take a long weekend and you take Monday off, then you're flying back on the Monday, right?
Right.
And if you fly out, why are you flying on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Right. It's true.
Tuesday is like no man's land.
It is.
When you think of Paris, what comes to mind? The Eiffel Tower, romance, the Louvre, ticket fraud? Yeah, 9 people have been detained in a ticket fraud scheme targeting the Louvre Museum in Paris. It involved museum employees and tour guides reusing tickets, then taking cash for themselves to let tour groups enter without officially paying. Prosecutors believe the decade-long operation cost the museum more than $11 million. They also suspect ticket fraud took place at the Palace of Versailles. This is just the latest scandal to hit the French Museum after thieves stole more than $100 million of crown jewels in 7 minutes. 4 men have been arrested and are under formal investigation, but the jewels have still not been recovered.
Ooh, I'm still waiting for that movie. When's that movie coming out?
Leave the Louvre alone, though.
Leave the Louvre alone.
Leave the Louvre alone.
Well, the Louvre needs to up its security, obviously.
To say the least.
Right?
Was
You
that
could just
true
like
that
they literally climb through a window.
Was it true
I
that
mean,
their password was Louvre 1?
Yeah. I think there's this assumption that a place like that has the highest tech of security, and that wasn't the case. They were relying on the fact that people maybe assumed that and not investing in it, and now look what it cost you, $11 million.
A Louvre million dollars in France. Yeah, leave the Louvre alone, my goodness. I want to go there, though, one day.
You never been?
One day. No, I've never been to France.
Oh.
And I took Ancestry.com and found out I'm a good amount French in there.
Wow.
So, you know, gonna go see the ancestors. Entertainment is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino. This Is Us was such a hot show. I mean, my mom watched. I feel like everyone's mom watched it.
I watched it.
I watched it.
Well, you're somebody's mom.
I watched it, then it started to become a little much.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah.
One day I just stopped watching it, cold turkey.
I was watching it a lot too, and then but what a great cast. Okay, you had Mandy Moore, Sterling K. Brown. Well, did you know that there is a That Was Us podcast?
What?
It's hosted by Mandy and Sterling and their co-star Chris Sullivan, who is also a big role on the show. It's a fun time. It's a rewatch podcast, and they dig into different topics, inspired, of course, by the show, including those intimate scenes that involve showing some skin, preferably sun-kissed skin.
We all look good with a little color.
Not something that I think about. I hear you.
Listen, when you're pasty pale like me,
do you do the
goes a
spray
long
John?
way. I'll do a spray tan. Oh yeah.
How long do the spray Johns last?
A week. If you keep it, like if you maintain it properly.
Do you get in this thing naked, or do you get in the thing you put on drawers? Like, how does it go?
I have underwear on, but otherwise naked. And usually a tiny bit of underwear.
Oh yeah. Really?
Yeah.
You feel good when you
It's an
come out?
Irish boy's dream come true.
It does, like,
Are you kidding me?
Everyone looks better with a little color.
He lost weight.
So, so I loved this conversation, and my friend group we were talking about this, and it is true because there are two types of people: those who spray tan in the nude, and those who leave a little some. Yeah, I do it. Thank you. Yeah, and you do it. Right.
With something.
Right. And Bob?
Has yet to do it.
Never done it.
Why would he do it?
Why would I do it?
Yeah.
Well,
I do it to look like Bob.
So a spray tan artist told me, obviously with women, she's fine with them being completely nude.
Right.
But with men, she asks them to wear...
Why?
What do you mean
something?
why?
Well, something.
Well, it's closed, right? You get in and then you...
someone is spraying
Oh,
you.
I thought it's like a car wash
That
where you
can
go in and
happen
this
too.
is like...
Well, you can do that, like
you just turn
Friends
around.
with Ross,
Oh, okay.
that episode, but you have someone actually like with a little hose,
like up and down.
You go up and down.
Like no one wants to get close like that, you know? I mean...
Well, if they don't want to wear underwear, then she asks them to wear a sock. A sock?
A sock.
Sorry.
I mean, I don't know. In other countries, like it wouldn't even matter. Like,
Not a sock.
Sorry.
but then you have if you wear stuff, then you have lines.
Yeah.
Where we went with that.
Yes, you do have lines. But just like you do, you wear a bathing suit and you have tan lines, it's okay. It doesn't bother me. It bothers her.
She said the sock that you try shoes on it.
He didn't hear it. That's fine.
You know
heard
that
me.
one that...
The sock that you... Oh, the... the try-on sock. It's probably not... It's probably pretty similar.
No.
Yes, it's probably pretty similar. They have try-on...
He's not understanding.
They probably have try-on socks.
Bob, would you get a spray tan?
No.
Nah, he doesn't need it.
You don't need it.
Save your money.
All right, we're going to hit the poll. We are asking if you're a bargain shopper, and 53% say yeah. I mean, who doesn't love a good deal? Go to foxla.com/. Roxy is still explaining to Bob.
I get the socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they probably have disposable socks there. Is that what you're talking about?
I'll explain during the break.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming up, you may think, oh, We're going to go straight to you. Samara.
Okay. Okay, got to compose ourselves here. Hey, good morning, everybody. We've got you covered traffic-wise. Good Daily Traffic, sponsored by Jacob and Ronnie. Call jacob.com. The rain, it's moving in. We're getting socked in right now, especially in some areas. We'll let rain come in. Southbound side of the 5 at Templin Highway. Solo vehicle collision is taking out a lane there. And here's the rain coming in. Oxnard, along areas of the 101 through Thousand Oaks into Woodland Hills. PCH is being impacted by slightly heavier rain activity. Please slow it down out there. Here's a live Caltrans camera look at both directions of the 101 at Balboa Boulevard. Raindrops right there on the camera. Please slow it down as we are expecting more rain. Here's a look at some other traffic hotspots.
I looked up and just ran.
Maybe we need to seek somebody who does have the expertise to be able to guide us through the process.
If you're getting to an accident,
you're in good hands by dealing with Jacob and Ron.
Call Jacob.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quilbon. This weather is sponsored by the law offices of Larry H. Parker. We've got a look outside right now and very overcast, gray skies ahead of the system that's moving in. And we are picking up a little bit more shower activity on the radar. The main cold front still upstream. This is a third storm in a series of storms that we have watched this week. And I think it'll be the final one as we look toward the weekend. This low will pass and then we will get some sunshine. High pressure behind it will start to build, and we'll actually look for a slight warming trend as we get into this upcoming weekend. So that's good news, a little reward for us after a very wet week. We still have some winter storm warnings in effect for the mountains, so travel up to the high country, still discouraging you from doing that. But if you have to do that, please bring your emergency gear and, of course, your chains. That's mandatory in the winter months. We have strong gusty winds adding to the hazardous driving conditions out there. Some of those wind gusts getting up to 55 miles an hour in the high desert to 65 miles per hour. So that drive up to the mountains will be a little sketchy. I'd wait until maybe tomorrow or Saturday. Temperatures will be in the 50s today along the coast, 59, and then better weather, warmer as we get to the weekend. Another opportunity for rain, it looks like by midweek next week, so just keep that umbrella handy. 56 for downtown LA with the chance for that rain to start early this morning and then getting more widespread by the lunch hour. 56 for the valleys and the Inland Empire. Up to the mountains, 33 with more snow expected, especially up above 6,000 feet. There's a chance that snow level could drop to near 3,500 to 4,000 feet. High desert areas, 48 degrees today with sunshine this weekend, and in the Coachella Valley, a little cool, 62 in Palm Springs, warming back up to 80 by next Monday. Back to you.
A proposed billionaire tax is sparking a heated political fight in California. Vermont Democratic Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders rallied support last night at the Wiltern in Koreatown for a 5% tax on the net worth of assets valued at over $1 billion. The goal is to fund health services for low-income Californians. Backed by healthcare unions, the proposal has divided Democrats. Governor Gavin Newsom opposes it, saying that it could hurt California's economy, while Sanders calls it a step toward addressing wealth inequality.
Are looking at a moment in history where never before have so few people had so much wealth and so much power.
The proposed billionaire tax is intended at offsetting federal health care cuts. Supporters say it could protect coverage for millions of people, while opponents argue that it might actually cost jobs and hurt state revenue. Over 870,000 signatures are needed to get this on November's ballot.
Okay, so don't knock the Dollar Tree. The discount chain is apparently back in style. I didn't even know it was out. The retailer is now attracting more higher income customers, opening in more affluent neighborhoods. One surprising fact, the chain says 60% of its new customers make at least 6 figures. Those customers spent less time in stores than lower income shoppers, but they also spend an extra $1 per visit. If higher end shoppers make just 1 extra trip a year, Dollar Tree would boost sales by $1 billion. Wow.
Very special display happening during Black Heritage Month.
Brooke Thomas is live at Beverly Hills Car Club with a look at what's happening there. Good morning.
Hey there. Yeah, so this is a toy store for car lovers. Absolutely. You know, my photographer, Carlos, he is living the dream right now. Okay. He's like, this place is amazing, but it's also like never ending. There's so much in here. There's so many different, like we were walking around earlier and it's never ending. You think you've seen them all and then you haven't. Alex, this place is phenomenal. Talk to me.
Thank you. So yes, I'm the owner of Beverly Hills Car Club. We have 650 cars here on the ground, all shapes and sizes, from cars that are $5,000 all the way up to $3 million, from Ferraris, Rolls Royce, Mercedes, Porsche, Mustangs. I mean, the list goes on. Everything that your heart could desire.
Oh my goodness. And you have some cars that you may have seen, this type of car at least, in some pretty cool movies, right? So the Jackie Robinson story here, right? This one. What kind of car is this? Tell me about this.
It's a 1941 Cadillac Series 60, and it's similar to the car used in the Jackie Robinson story, which is incredible because he broke the color, the color barrier in Major League Baseball.
LA loves Jackie Robinson. I mean, I feel like the country loves Jackie Robinson. Yeah. Okay, talk to me about this one, because in this movie, the car was the story.
Yes. And this is the movie, this is the car, the same one they used in the Green Book.
That was a big, important movie.
It's a 1941 Buick Roadmaster. Wow. And it's just fantastic.
Do people come to you, do they come to you to get cars often? Because you need to tell a certain story.
Absolutely. And these cars, they're a movie in themselves. Just looking at them and the luxury, there's so much to them. They're a character all on their own.
All on their own, yes. Okay, and this car right here, this is reminiscent of the car used in Malcolm X.
Correct.
Right?
It's a 1965 Lincoln Continental convertible. And these are the cars that I started this business with, were the Lincoln Continentals.
Wow, this looks good. This is a cool car.
Very, very cool. It's got suicide doors. I mean, this is just an Americana in a car.
Okay, so we're going to be here all morning because we have much more to show everybody, and I have much more to see.
Carlos told me he's not going to leave until tomorrow.
He's actually going to spend the night, but I do have to. I have other things to do. But okay, Bob and Araxia.
Ooh.
This car right here, I have a little trivia question for you, okay? This one right here, this was a car that you saw in the Jackie Robinson story, but I want you to think hard. Actually, Bob, no, you already know the answer, so don't spoil it. Where else have you seen this car, Araxia? You think about it.
Oh, boy.
And I'm going to check back in the next hour. A really, really important movie that I'm sure you've seen.
Really? You're sure I've seen it?
Any guesses? I'm sure, yeah. Any guesses?
Is it like a mobster movie?
No, it's not at all. Not at all. Is Amanda still out there? Any guesses?
She's not still out here. Beautiful cars, by the way. It's hard to pick just one because
I'll
they're
tell you
all
in the
so
next hour.
spectacular looking.
No, I've picked a favorite.
You did?
I have picked a favorite already. Yeah, right here.
I saw a couple when you're going by, and I'm like,
some of the colors are so unique too.
So unique.
Yeah, really cool.
Really amazing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll check in with you, Brooke. Thank you. Switching gears to the Olympics, lots of eyes are on Team USA women this morning.
Yeah, not only is there the women's figure skating free skate starting in just a few minutes, actually at 10 o'clock, so we have some time for that, but there is also the women's ice hockey finals. That's at 10:10 a.m. when Team USA takes on its rival Canada, and whoever wins this game will get a gold medal.
That's right, gold medal match going on there. Okay, let's talk about yesterday's incredible rally of the men's hockey team. I actually watched this. It was pretty exciting. Team USA was up 1-0 when Swedish star Mika Zibanejad scored the game-tying goal for Sweden with less than 2 minutes on the clock. So this goes into overtime. Quinn Hughes scored a game-winning goal to help the U.S. beat Sweden 2-1. Tomorrow, the U.S. men's will play Slovakia in the semifinal and may also be on a collision course to face Canada if both teams win their semifinal games, and that gold medal game will be played on Sunday. It's like the best and the best of the NHL going at it right there, you know, representing their own countries. Yeah. Now, in the U.S. team, they have like 2 sets of brothers, which are really cool, too.
Oh.
So, really, it's a lot of fun to watch.
I haven't watched, but I should.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, Sandra, I know, has been watching.
That's right, spending late nights up watching the Olympics, cheering on the U.S. All right, guys, there's so much more coming up, including this. You may think puppet shows are just for kids, but I want to challenge you to think differently. Our next guest is here to talk about this weekend's performances of Puppet Up Uncensored, how you can expect off-the-cuff comedy for adults that combines improv and audience interaction into a live puppet show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to 9 a.m. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Endo. Let's take a look at today's headlines.
An hours-long barricade is finally over after a burglary suspect broke into a home that was later set on fire. We do have an update on the wild situation at this hour.
Plus, Malibu moves to sue the city of L.A., the county of L.A., and the state of California over the Palisades fire. We have the details on that.
And fresh off the halftime show, Bad Bunny is not done making headlines. The Puerto Rican singer is moving from the concert stage to the production lot. Or how about I say the concert stage to the sound stage? I'm going to tell you all about the new movie that he's set to star in, and it definitely taps into his culture. But first, Maria.
Yeah, I loved seeing him in Happy Gilmore too.
I loved it too.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, wait, is that Bad Bunny? Yeah.
Yes, he was great in it.
He was good. Okay, listen, we've got the rain that is coming now. It is falling in parts of LA County. Told you it would happen between 8 and 9 a.m. and indeed it is starting to really move in. We're picking up some heavier cells out in the valley, parts of the San Fernando Valley, out towards Malibu. We're picking up some more moderate to heavy showers. So you can see this is now going to start and it will continue through the rest of the morning and into this afternoon. 50 degrees currently in downtown LA, 49 in Ontario, 45 in Victorville, it's 27 in Big Bear, it's cold, 55 in Palm Springs. Today's high temperatures will not be very high, only in the low 60s in the low desert areas, high desert in the upper 40s, around 33 up into the mountains eventually in Big Bear. And yes, we are expecting more snow there. Downtown LA to the valleys, Inland Empire, around 56 degrees, 59 along the coast with some high surf. We do have several weather alerts in place. I'll go over all of them, the details in just a few moments. In the meantime, back to you.
Maria, thank you. Breaking news this morning, 5-hour-long standoff between LAPD and a burglary suspect ends with that suspect being walked out from a burning home in handcuffs.
Gigi Graciet standing by with all the details. Gigi, what a scene.
A very dramatic end to that barricade. As you mentioned, Araxia, 5 hours, a suspect believed to have been armed inside this house, and it is not his house, police tell me. He actually broke into it. You can see the broken out windows, some of the fire damage. I'm told that the front room, which is the living room there, is basically a total loss. The sofa, the recliner, everything has burnt after the house caught fire. Take a look, our eye in the sky, Skyfox, above Penny Street here, right? Almost on the corner of Ralston Avenue in Pacoima this morning as LAPD's SWAT team brought that suspect out. You can see him there shirtless. He had some minor injuries. There were reports he might have had some minor burns to his hands as police and the fire department worked to investigate how the fire started. This all happened about 10 minutes or less after the SWAT team introduced ferrets. That's basically their gas that they use, the vehicle to carry the gas into the house, commonly known as tear gas. It's used to cause respiratory distress and basically to force a barricaded suspect out, to cause it to be so uncomfortable inside that the guy will come out. Well, he didn't come out. And then something inside the house caught fire, and that's when LA City Fire was called in. They were staged a few blocks away. Their firefighters arriving, but it was actually the SWAT team who took some of their hoses and tried to put the fire out as other members of the SWAT team went in to get the suspect. Now, this all started about 2:40 this morning. That's when someone here on Penny Street called the LAPD, called 911 to say there was a burglar in their garage. When police arrived, that suspect jumped out a window and began running through people's backyards. And as he ran, he was trying doorknobs, looking apparently for an unlocked door until he found one at this house. Now, he either entered through an unlocked door or through a window. Inside the room, an older woman, terrified. She immediately ran out, police telling me they were able to get her to safety, thankfully. And then the barricade was on. He refused to come out. Police using loudspeakers, bullhorns, asking him to come out. Meanwhile, a lot of neighbors approached police and told them they knew who the guy was. His name was Esteban, and he used to be their neighbor. He lived over on Mercer. And recently, he had assaulted a woman on this this block, and they also claim that he had broken into a vacant house and apparently had been living there. So now police knew who their suspect was. They began calling him out by name, but again, eventually the SWAT team was able to go in and get him, and then LA City Fire moved in to put out the fire. The front room, we're told, is a total loss. So sad for the folks who live there, victims in this crime spree. The suspect has been taken to the hospital to be checked out. He will then be booked. He's facing a long list of felony charges. And right now, the LAPD and LA City Fire, they're still here because they are awaiting LA City Fire arson investigators who will try to determine exactly how the fire started. Reporting live in a very rainy Pacoima this morning, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Such a crazy situation. We saw it play out on TV with Sky Fox overhead during that fire. Thank you so much, Gigi, for all the details on that. And as Gigi was experiencing the rain out there in Pacoima, third storm is heading our way, threatening to cause more destruction.
Let's go to Mario. He is in Sherman Oaks, where it's prone to some flooding, right? So seems like dry conditions for the meantime.
Well, you know, Maria was spot on about the arrival of this rain. I'm not sure if you can tell, but we've had light sprinkling here for the last 20 minutes or so, and it's starting to pick up. We're just off the 405 near the Sepulveda Basin. We've had enough rain so far to start wetting the roads here, but not enough to create flooding conditions like what we've seen this week. Take a look. Let's go to the video here. What this week's storms have already done here in the San Fernando Valley. Street flooding, widespread. Drivers also ran into problems on local freeways. Cars, you can see, pushing through standing water, several roads temporarily closed, and flooded lanes making driving conditions even more dangerous in multiple spots. Officials say some of that flooding was brief, but enough to block roads and slow traffic through the area. And let's go to North Hollywood, where commuters there were hit hard on Tuesday. Several vehicles stalled out, left partially submerged as water quickly rose in the street. You'll see a Metro bus there plowing through the flooded roadway, passing stranded cars as rain continued to come down. And this morning, we talked to drivers here in the valley. They know all too well how quickly conditions can change here on the roads.
Yesterday it was kind of crazy. I was on the 101 getting on the freeway over here, and I hydroplaned, even with these tires, you know? I mean, look at them, 35-inch tires, like, check them out over there. So the rain over here has been really, really scary, really crazy.
We live in California where you don't expect as much rain, so when it do rain, I think people get excited and they start speeding and they don't realize how little water it takes for a person to hydroplane. So most of these crashes be solo spin out unless they spin out into the middle lane, and then it's tragedy everywhere. So slow down, buckle up, and be safe.
Flooding also a problem in Van Nuys this week. Drivers pushing through the flooded waters, splashing up, soaking vehicles as they made their way through. And officials are reminding drivers not to travel through flooded roads, warning that it only takes a few inches of water to stall a car. And we've seen it so many times. So coming back out here live again, starting to pick up here with more rain on the way. We've also been feeling those strong wind gusts. So dress in layers, bring that umbrella, and it has been chilly out here. Temperatures are still in the 40s for now. That's the latest here in Sherman Oaks. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, Mario, maybe get some gloves as well. Thank you. All right, the city of Malibu is suing several public agencies to recoup losses from last year's Palisades fire. The LA Times reporting Malibu is suing California, the city and county of LA, and a number of other agencies seeking damages for the loss of property, business, and city revenue. But the suit doesn't say how much money the city wants. Malibu contends the fire changed the entire character of the city and was the result of unlawful conduct by the defendants.
This morning, South Korea's former president, Yoon Suk-yeol, has been sentenced to life in prison over his brief martial law order. A judge found him guilty of rebellion after he briefly imposed martial law in 2024. The judge ruled that it was an illegal attempt to seize the liberal-led National Assembly, arrest politicians, and establish unchecked power. Yoon was previously defending his decision, saying that he used the military to try and stop anti-state forces from interfering with his political agenda. He's expected to appeal the decision.
The New York Times reporting a rapid buildup of U.S. forces in the Middle East has progressed to the point that President Trump could choose military action. American warships and dozens of fighter jets have left their bases in the United States and Europe in recent days. They're now headed toward towards Iran. Although the president has not indicated that he's made the decision about how to proceed, Trump has repeatedly demanded that Iran give up its nuclear program. Vice President J.D. Vance said yesterday that Iran's offers for a nuclear deal have fallen short.
There's many reasons and arguments that one could make for a strike against Iran.
The president is calling for regime change in Iran, and there's an awful regime, but he should make the case to the American public.
Some reports indicate a strike on Iran could happen as early as this weekend. Although, again, President Trump has not yet made a final decision.
Developing this morning, a federal appeals court is siding with the military in a major decision involving HIV and enlistment. The Fourth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond upheld the Pentagon's long-standing policy banning people with HIV from joining the armed forces. Judges say the military's concerns about the treatment costs and deployment limitations are valid and tied to its mission. Advocates for people living with HIV argue that modern treatments make the virus undetectable and non-transmittable, and they say the ruling ignores decades of medical progress. The case could be headed for a further appeal.
Coming up, Amanda's got your entertainment headlines after the break, including a new movie that Bad Bunny is casted as lead.
Ooh, first up, we got to talk about the roads out there. Hi, Maria.
Yeah, we've got some wet roads now as that rain is moving in. This traffic report is brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group Accident and Injury Attorneys. Here's a look at our real-time traffic map. You can see that line of rain now moving into a greater portion of LA County. As we look at one of our live traffic cameras, definitely wet here. This is the northbound 101 at Balboa Boulevard. This side of the freeway here, the cars coming at you is the northbound side. I still think you guys are driving too fast. The roads are slick, and this is really dangerous. So please slow it down if you are going out the door here momentarily. Westbound 10 freeway between the 5 to the 405 headed to Santa Monica from downtown. Not too bad. 36 minutes. The northbound 110 between the 405 to the 10, just 22 minutes. And on that west 60 between the 57 to the 5, around 28 minutes there. Here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
This broadcast is locally sponsored by DT LA Law Group, Auto Accident and Injury Attorneys. Have an injury? Text Injury Help to 40222 or visit us online at calldowntown.com. Message and data rates and usage may apply.
Hello. Hello. Or should I say cheerio?
Cheerio.
For our next story, entertainment is sponsored by Yamava Resort and Casino, Cillian Murphy, Barry Keoghan, and Netflix. You know what that means? Peaky Blinders is back.
I'm looking for me, son.
Everybody stay calm, because this man, ladies and gentlemen, is Tommy Shelby.
Perhaps I want you to explain to him who I am.
Oh, we know who you are, Thomas Shelby, played by Oscar-winning Cillian Murphy. I think you would like this, Roxy, because it is kind of like The Sopranos of the UK, but a period crime drama.
Oh,
yeah.
Right up my alley.
Right up your alley. Peaky Blinders, the Immortal Man trailer, has fans of the beloved BBC series super excited. The show ended after 6 seasons back in 2022, and now the film will be in select theaters on March 6th and on Netflix March 20th. I feel like you can't say the title of the series without saying it in an accent. Try saying it without. I mean, like, try to say
Peaky Blinders.
You have to force yourself to say Peaky Blinders.
You sound like a robot.
Right.
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
that's what you want to
something like
say. All right, move over, Tom, Leo, and Brad. Here comes Bad Bunny.
Here for revenge. The assassin who killed El Saguaro killed my wife. Pero parece que hoy mató dos pájaros de un tiro.
Whoa.
Bullet Train. Yeah, remember him in Bullet Train?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this will now be Bad Bunny, a.k.a. Benito's first leading role for the film Puerto Rico.
Leading role?
Yeah, leading man. He's going to be starring in this film alongside Javier Bardem, Viggo Mortensen, and Edward Norton. It's being described as an epic Caribbean Western and historical drama. It will tell a story of the island based on true events. You tagged me in something, and I'm gonna do it because it says, send this to someone you want to take you to a reggaeton brunch.
It actually exists.
Oh, really?
So she sent it to
Where's
me.
that?
And so I actually don't know. I have to do some research. But Aroxia wants to go to a reggaeton brunch. She wants to get her Caribbean eats on.
Yes, early in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I attended the Bullet Train premiere, which is the clip you saw. And there was a black SUV, and there were tons of people surrounding it. And I said to my husband at the time, I said, oh, I bet you that's Brad Pitt. Because he showed up for the film. And this was years ago, and it was Bad Bunny. And it was all the UCLA students had come. It was on the west side, and they wanted to see Bad Bunny. So he's got that draw. I mean, he's going to get the box office bucks, too. All right, well, last hour we asked you, are you a bargain shopper? Here are the results. 62% say yes, you love a deal. And in second place, depends on the item. You know, I'm glad that we put that on there because my dad always told me you got to spend money when it comes to your bed and your shoes. Because when you're not in your bed, you're on your feet. And when you're not on your feet, you're in your bed.
Wow. Okay. The wise words.
Wise words.
That's right. By the way, the reggaeton brunch is at Mandala Cantina. That's in Downey.
Let's go. I love Downey. You know I'm always down for Downey. I love it there.
Thank you, Amanda. Sounds fun. Okay, coming up, artificial intelligence can take a lot off your plate, including your social media posts.
But when do things go too far? We'll explain why an AI patent is under fire.
And welcome back to you. I'm meteorologist Maria Quaban. Good Daily Weather is sponsored by Pechanga Resort Casino. So we are on rain watch right now. Of course, that storm is really starting to move in. This is storm number 3. The good news is this is the last of the series of storms we've been watching all this week, and it is probably the weakest one. But that being said, there is an opportunity for some thunderstorms, so that can, of course, bring some heavy downpours, and that can cause some flooding and all the issues, but it should be quick moving. So that's another part of the good news. The rain is moving in, like I said, and that's going to continue to bring us showers through the early afternoon. So it will still impact your afternoon commute, but I think by the evening commute, it'll start to taper off. And certainly by tonight, you'll know when that low has passed, because you will feel that wind coming out of the northwest, and it will be a cold wind. And starting tomorrow, we will look for some drying conditions and a drying trend as we get into the upcoming weekend. So we will get some sunshine. Now, I do want to give you a heads up for next week. There's a storm that we're watching develop in the Gulf of Alaska. So there is another opportunity for some rain by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. We'll wait and see if that materializes. In the meantime, not a lot in terms of accumulation with this rain. So through the lunch hour, maybe 1/4 of an inch in Woodland Hills, 2/10 in Pasadena. And then as we get to the afternoon, we'll add a little bit more. So we're talking about a total of about 1/2 inch in most areas, 1/10 to 1/3 you can see in parts of Orange County, and then a little bit more over the mountains and foothills. And we are expecting snow up above 4,000 feet, even 5,000 and 6,000 feet, a little bit more in the way of that snow accumulation. The winds are still coming out of the southwest, but after that front passes, it'll come out of the northwest, and we're really going to cool things off. Tonight's low temperatures, look at this, only in the low 40s, barely out of the 30s, and perhaps just 36 degrees in Corona. I'll show you the extended outlook in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Maria. You know, saying goodbye to a loved one who's passed away, that's never easy. But soon, that might not have to be the case. I'm going to explain, because Meta has patented a system that could make AI versions of social media users even after they've died. This system would use a person's past online activity, like their comments or messages, to copy how they interacted and upload similar material. However, experts warn about the impact this would have on grieving families and potential consent and misuse issues. After coming under fire, Meta says it doesn't plan to work on developing the AI project right away.
That's too creepy, I think.
Could you imagine, like, someone passed away and then you see a new comment under your
new post?
It's like, girl, get it, looks good, slay. And you're like,
that would be very weird.
It's very weird.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
But thank you for sharing.
Yeah. We have to bring
AI
you the
has
news.
gone too far, right?
There's a spectrum to AI, and I think that is on the too far side.
Just you wait. I'm afraid of what's to come.
My goodness.
Coming up, celebrating Black Heritage, Brooke showing us what's happening in the Beverly Hills Car Club.
Hey, this is a really fun way to look at history, right? I am going to show you some cars that you may have seen before. They're going to remind you of some important movies in history.
Good morning. Approaching 9:30 this morning. It is Thursday. I'm Roxy Carpadian.
And I'm Sandra Enda. Thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at today's headlines. A member of the royal family arrested in connection to the Epstein files. An expert will join us with what we're learning about former Prince Andrew.
Plus, a massive winter storm in Northern California has led to the deadliest U.S. avalanche in decades. The tragic update on the missing skiers near Lake Tahoe.
And our Facebook and Instagram designed to be addictive. Mark Zuckerberg testifies about how young people use the popular apps.
And weather-wise, we are anticipating a little bit more rain here as we get going with the morning and into the afternoon. The leading edge of that cold front is now moving into parts of LA County, and embedded in some of these light to moderate rainfall, a little bit heavier. You can see some of the yellows here. These returns on the radar indicating some heavier rain starting to move in, but very spotty. This system is not as strong as the first two earlier this week, so at least that's the good news. We've had 4 days in a row now of below average
average high temperatures. Last week we had that other rainstorm that brought us some measurable rain. So in fact, for the month so far, very impressive, 3.29 inches. And we're going to add a little bit more today as we get more rain. 56 degrees should be that high temperature, which is below the average of 68. Our sun will set at 5:41 later this afternoon. Just a quick look at our high temperatures today, which won't be very high. So grab that jacket if you haven't left the house yet and maybe haven't been outside. It's only going to be around 51 in Ontario, Santa Clarita the same, San Bernardino as well. 33 in Big Bear and 62 in Palm Springs. I'll send it back to you, too.
Maria, thank you. UK police arrest former Prince Andrew over his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Here to talk about the gravity of the case is royal expert Dan Wakeford. Thank you for joining us again this morning.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
This is big news, certainly, and how unprecedented is this moment for the royal family? Unprecedented and obviously embarrassing as well.
I mean, this is hugely unprecedented. This has huge historical significance. It's the first senior royal in modern history to ever be arrested. Before this, there was only minor infractions. Zara Zindel and Princess Diana have both had speeding violations, and Princess Anne was convicted of a minor issue related to dangerous dogs. No senior royal has ever happened to.
So what does this arrest look like for the monarchy, for King Charles, for the legacy we're talking about?
I mean, this is a huge moment for King Charles, and he has to act very, very carefully. His reign is going to be short because he's been given, he's ascended to the throne later in life. And so all eyes are on how he reacts to this, because the monarchy is more precarious in England than you would imagine. Younger folks find it as an undemocratic institution, and it is something like this could easily shake it. So people are looking towards him to make sure that he does not give his family the ability to be above the law. And so far, he has been very strident about that. He didn't know about this arrest before it happened, even though it's on his personal property. And King Charles released a statement this morning saying that this will be investigated thoroughly. And let me state clearly, the law must take its course.
Well, he didn't know it was going to be on his property. It also happens to be his birthday, I believe, his 66th birthday today. For a while, though, it does seem as though the royal family has been distancing themselves from Andrew, stripping of his title and just his residency, right? He had to make adjustments there and make some changes in his life for quite a while. Could this investigation reopen the scrutiny over the royal family's past handling of the former prince's ties to Epstein?
I believe that King Charles has acted pretty swiftly and directly. Queen Elizabeth was a lot more protective of her son. And so, I mean, we can look at his actions, but in my belief that King Charles has acted very swiftly here and cut all ties. He is a private citizen now.
You talked about the precarious nature of how the monarchy is viewed, especially with the younger generation. So what is the reaction now to this news? How have Brits reacted to this?
I mean, in shock and awe, they can't believe what has happened, but there is a sentiment that justice should be served, because this person does come from a very privileged background at the top of society. Does not mean that they should be excused because if they have broken the law. And this is a huge issue and a huge crime that he has potentially committed. On paper, he faces life imprisonment. There is no minimum sentence for this crime. Obviously, the sentence is going to be affected by his culpability, the harm it's caused, and the nature of this misconduct. But this is an incredibly serious infraction, and he should be held for his actions.
And just so we're clear, because we want people to understand what it is that he's being accused of and the role he had and how he abused that power, according to the police, as to why they made this arrest this morning.
I mean, he has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in a public office, and this looks to be linked to the Epstein files. There's been emails in the Epstein files that reveal he remained in communication after he claimed he cut off ties. And in this communication, he was a trade envoy for the UK, and he appeared to share very sensitive information about investments in the area in the Middle East and stuff that Epstein could have potentially used to make money.
So not the allegations that have been filed against him for any inappropriate relations with a woman or sexual conduct with any women involved in this case. So thank you for making that clarification, Dan Wakeford. We appreciate your expertise this morning.
I'm sure we'll talk to you again because this is quite a big story. Thank you. In the meantime, this top story we're covering, Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg testifying in downtown LA courtroom in a social media addiction trial.
Zuckerberg's company is accused of designing its platforms to be intentionally addictive and being harmful to kids and teens. Jeff Paul shows us what happened in court.
Are Facebook and Instagram designed to be addictive? That was the focus of questioning of Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg Wednesday in Los Angeles in a landmark trial that could shape the future of social media. The plaintiff is a 20-year-old woman who signed up for Instagram when she was 9 years old and says early addiction to social media put her on a path towards depression and suicidal thoughts. Unearthed internal messaging at Meta shows researchers were aware the platforms were addictive, comparing them to drugs. The plaintiff's attorney cited a 2016 email from Zuckerberg that set a goal of increasing the amount of time people spent on the platform by 12%.
He knew perfectly well what was going on. The intention of the company was to prey on teens, use teens' usage, exploit them so they can make greater profits. And that was done intentionally, not by accident.
Spending hours on the stand, Zuckerberg acknowledged his at times awkward public persona, saying, quote, "I'm sort of well known to be very bad at this," but pushed back on the assertion the platforms are intentionally designed to hook people. Parents who lost children to social media addiction say they aren't buying it.
I believe we're going to see a lot more evidence this week, not only internal communications through email, but also their own research that showed that these platforms were dangerous and they didn't do enough to stop it.
The outcome of the case could determine how thousands of other similar lawsuits play out. In Los Angeles, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
This trial is raising concerns about harmful content on those platforms like Meta. So we spoke with someone from the Center for Countering Digital Hate who gave us some insight as to why Meta is not settling in this case.
If they are shown to be liable for the harm that they cause to kids, the floodgates will open. And the truth is that for too many years, for 30 years now, US law has actually prohibited normal negligence claims being brought against these platforms. This is an innovation. This lawsuit is actually incredibly clever because it's using product design law.
Ahmed went on to say if they lose, Meta could face billions of dollars in damages from more plaintiffs. But Snapchat and TikTok settled the case with plaintiffs before jury selection.
It's been nearly 3 weeks since Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her Tucson, Arizona home, but police say they are holding out hope that she is still alive. The FBI analyzing a new ransom note received by TMZ yesterday. It demands that $6 million in different cryptocurrency for Guthrie's return. TMZ founder Harvey Levin saying that the new note graphically describes the consequences if they're not paid. The FBI also turning to genetic genealogy testing, a process that has helped investigators in, for example, the Idaho identity of murderer Brian Koberger, and a source telling Fox that the FBI has reached out to authorities in Mexico in connection with the case. A Milwaukee attorney has also upped the reward, offering an additional $100,000 for any information leading to an arrest.
Rescue crews in Northern California are still looking for one missing skier following an avalanche near Lake Tahoe. However, it's now considered a recovery operation. The bodies of 8 other people were located yesterday. The group, which included several guides, was part of a ski team on a 3-day trip. The 6 survivors huddled together for 5 hours, trying to stay warm until rescue crews arrived. At some point during that trek, a massive avalanche around the size of a football field buried much of the group.
They have their routes, they do their research, but sometimes with the elements, with the snowfall, with the temperatures, with the wind-blown area, it's not always the same. And I'm sure they were definitely prepared for it. And like I said, sometimes Mother Nature just has something else in store.
Those 8 bodies remain where the avalanche happened, and crews say it's too dangerous right now to recover them or search for that 9th victim. With more snow falling, they're worried about another avalanche.
Rain is just starting and threatening more problems. Of course, today's going to be a big weather day.
That's right. Mario Ramirez live in Sherman Oaks to tell us more about what they're looking for.
Oh, he's got the umbrella out now.
Hey, Sandra, Roxia. Yeah, it has not stopped coming down since the last time we checked it at the top of the hour. I've now got the umbrella, so I'm not standing out here getting soaked. And just look at all these drivers here now stuck in the middle of it. We're just off the 405 from the Sepulveda Basin, and the windshield wipers are getting good use this morning. This is just the start. So take a look. The San Fernando Valley took a hard hit from this week's storms. Heavy rain led to water-covered streets across several areas. Some freeway lanes flooded during heavier downpours, from stalled cars to road closures. Let's go to another part of the San Fernando Valley. In North Hollywood, several cars became stuck in deep water. This was on Tuesday, leaving drivers and vehicles stranded in the middle of flooded streets. You can see a Metro bus forcing its way through floodwaters as drivers there wait for help or for conditions to improve. Now, drivers we spoke to this morning here in Sherman Oaks say it's already been a rough week here in the valley on the roads, and there's the possibility of more issues on the way.
Traction can get a little crazy, you know, and, you know, people can swerve and slip. It's pretty dangerous, you know what I'm saying? It's really dangerous.
All day long, the water just, like, sweeps in, and, you know, people are getting their cars stuck. The Teslas are hydroplaning.
There's been a lot of floodings. Essentially, I mean, there's times when you can't even see the road. So much downpour, so much just heavy rain that you can barely see.
And this is a look at flooding in Van Nuys, how we started the week with the first of 3 systems, leaving more drivers stuck in floodwaters, which always creates an uptick in emergency and roadside assistant calls. So we should expect more of that today. Now, coming back out here live at Burbank and Sepulveda Boulevard, we've already seen new potholes forming this morning. The rain seeping into the roadway here, damaging the pavement. We haven't seen it stop any drivers here, but this is one of several here at this intersection, and we know just how damaging they can be as the rain continues to fall here in this part of the valley. Live in Sherman Oaks, I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
Okay, Mario, thank you. Stay dry. Try to stay dry. Thank you for being there. The storm, let me show you this, has the San Bernardino Mountains looking like a winter wonderland. That is quite a shot, isn't it? It's beautiful. Maybe not this one, though. The other shot. Temperatures dropped in the mid-20s there. Yes, this shot is gorgeous. Turning earlier snow into solid ice, making travel, though, really tough. Some neighborhoods are still dealing with unplowed streets and icy conditions, and officials are warning people in the area to drive with caution, as these freezing temperatures can make roads really slick. The grapevine is always, of course, a concern as well when it comes to bad weather in the winter. This is a live shot from Lebec. It does seem like, at least from our vantage point, the cars are taking their time, yeah?
Go slowly.
Go slow.
Yep, you can tell it's raining there. It's very, very slick. And there's a special display happening during Black Heritage Month we want to tell you about.
Brooke Thomas live at Beverly Hills Car Club with more. Brooke, so I wasn't able to guess that car. Maybe Sandra will have better luck.
I probably won't.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving
Did you hear me?
Gosh, I thought it was a different color.
I told you, I knew you had seen this movie.
Of course I've seen this movie.
But, you know, the vibes are there. I know. You were like, are you sure I've seen it? Yes, girl.
Okay. Well, my mind just went straight to the mob.
I know. Okay, I have so much more to show you, though. Alex, talk to me. First of all, for people who are just tuning in, tell us where we are, because this place it's an adult toy store. It's a kid's toy store, too.
This is the Beverly Hills Car Club.
Yeah.
And we're in East LA, and as you can see, we have Rolls Royces, Porsche, Mercedes, Ferraris, everything under the sun.
Yeah.
I mean, it just brings joy to you just coming here. There's so much energy in the room. You can feel it.
I agree. Yes. No, we're having a lot of fun here. Okay. And so we're talking about history. We're talking about movies from the past. Movies, Black history, right? But we're going to be entertained. We're going to have a little fun. These are movies that you loved to watch, cars that you remember. Okay, take me down the line of what we're seeing here.
Okay, so here we have a Mercedes 400E.
I love this car, by the way.
This is the same movie. This is the same car from the movie Juice.
I love that movie.
Tupac Shakur was
Omar Epps, Tupac, yes.
I mean, L.A., you know what I mean? Hello, here we are.
What about this baby right here?
Okay, so this is a 1968 Pontiac GTO.
Okay.
From Poetic Justice. Janet Jackson, also Tupac Shakur again.
Tupac, yes.
Okay, another
Regina King.
Yes.
Yes.
Then we have also a 1967 Pontiac GTO as well from Poetic Justice. They're both 67 and 68.
That's amazing. This is so cool. First of all, this car is stunning.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like pieces of art.
They are like artwork, and that's so cool because the cars become parts of the movie. We were just showing, you know, a car driving Miss Daisy. That was the third main character in the movie, the car.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's Morgan Freeman, Daisy, and the Cadillac.
And the Cadillac, exactly. Go on the way to the Piggly Wiggly. What do we have up here? What is this?
We have a 1962 Jaguar XKE.
Okay.
It's opalescent silver blue.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the color is sensational.
Yeah.
And this is the same car from Shaft, the movie with Samuel L. Jackson. You have the covered headlights. I mean, this car just commands attention. Enzo Ferrari himself said, this is the most beautiful car ever made.
This is so
and this is a Jaguar. It's not a Ferrari.
And that's how you know.
Yeah.
He really makes it. And I can take this one home, right?
Absolutely.
If I pay for it.
Of course.
Right. That's the part that he didn't say. Back to you.
They're so beautiful.
They really are.
Gosh,
They're so beautiful. The cars help tell a story. It's awesome.
All right, Brooke. Thank you. So coming up, you may think puppet shows are just for kids, but wait until you see our next guest.
Yeah, they're here to talk about this weekend's performances of Puppet Up Uncensored. And welcome back to you. Let's take a look at our Ontario International Airport. This camera view sponsored by them, of course. And we're seeing some clouds. Not much rain here yet. I say yet because it is on its way as well. We are watching the forecast highs if you are traveling, maybe heading out of Ontario International. Denver, 40 degrees later this afternoon. Houston, 81, a little bit warmer there, but with some clouds. Atlanta, 77 degrees. Chicago, 53 with that chance for rain. 38, New York City, JFK International.
special. Speaking of rain, we are looking at the cold front that's beginning to move into SoCal. It's going to continue to push through the latter part of the morning and into the afternoon. And you can see there's some yellows here, some returns on the radar, indicating some heavier downpours. There is a chance we could see some thunderstorms. So when that happens, we do get the heavier rain, and that can trigger some mud and debris flows potentially, and also cause some flooding. So just be prepared for that. The good news is this system should move quickly, and it is not quite as strong as the last two storms that passed through earlier this week. Also, when we fast forward to later this afternoon and evening, I think by the evening time, most of the rain will be to our east, so we'll start to sort of taper off those. It'll get to maybe scattered light showers, and then also some snow falling up into the mountains. Good news, by tomorrow will be the start of a slight warming trend, and we will look for a much better weekend with some slightly warmer conditions. Until then, though, we still have some winter storm warnings in effect for the mountains, as well as those wind advisories and warnings. 59 degrees at the coast. We've got some sunshine, like I said, and then maybe another opportunity for some showers next week. Downtown LA, 56 degrees today, so it's kind of chilly. Look at the sunshine for the weekend. Nice indeed. Valleys, Inland Empire, similar with those highs only in the 50s today. And then look, we get back to some of those 70s by Sunday, Monday. The mountains, 33 degrees. We are expecting more snow up at our local resorts. I'll send it back to you in the puppets.
All right, Maria, thank you.
Oh, look at our friends.
I know.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hello.
All right, so if you think you've seen puppets before, you gotta think again. Puppet Up Uncensored is coming to Hollywood for a limited time. And let's just say, this isn't the puppet show you grew up with.
That's right. Thank you so much for being here. We've got the legendary Brian Hansen, plus we have the puppeteers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, these are two of our
Yes, go ahead, introduce
yourself. His name's Brian Henson.
Yeah, I'm Brian
It's a hard E. Yeah.
This is Colleen Smith.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Colleen.
And Ted Michaels.
Hello.
Hello.
And both have been performing with us for 20-ish years.
Since time began.
Wow. You guys don't look a day over when you started.
Watch what you're saying.
So, Brian, tell us all about this show. I know you came here earlier, like last year or something, to talk about it, and you're back.
Well, this is a show that mixes really high-level improv comedy, short-form improv comedy, with really high-level puppetry. And it's called Uncensored, and it is for adults because it does sometimes go blue. But honestly, we're just being entertainers and trying to be as funny for each other as we can be. It's not deliberately dirty or anything like that. People come, a lot of people go, oh, I expected it to be much dirtier. It's like, no, we're not really trying to be dirty, but there's suggestions from the audience that do lead in that direction.
What would your dad say about this?
Oh, my dad would adore it.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of the roots of this show is, as I was a kid, watching my dad and Frank Oz and Richard Hunt and Jerry Nelson, those guys, when the cameras weren't rolling, that was when they were really funny. But they would go blue and adult, and you get a sense of it. You know, the Muppet characters and even the Sesame Street characters, they don't come off like kids' characters, and it's because when they're developing the personality, they were very loose and adult about it, and then they would censor themselves when the cameras were rolling.
It's kind of like our commercial break.
Right.
Yes, we really tell our opinions.
Right, so this show is really a celebration of that, of what happens when what my dad would call ad-libbing between takes.
That's fun. That's what equals fun. And Ted and Colleen, we were just chatting a little bit ago. What's your favorite part of performing live? I mean, first of all, we were saying you must have a really strong right-sided bicep there.
Yeah. Don't fight my right side. Attack me from the left. I mean, the most fun is like just all the weird stuff that people yell out, the joy people take in yelling filth, and then us getting to raise it and elevate it.
Yeah, and I like the challenge. At one point, someone shouted out, the villain is a banana. And I thought, there's bananas backstage. And I ran back there and got a banana and then made the banana a puppet.
Oh my gosh,
that was like, and the audience is in on it. They're like, oh my God, that guy ran and got a banana.
You're a prop comic.
A prop.
That's what you are.
But you brought Pugsy back, huh? Pugsy, what do you think about the show?
Well, you know, I'm basically a stage whore. So I plant my, am I allowed to say that word?
I don't think that word is...
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a trigger word.
Sexual worker for the stage. I want to be PC.
Yeah. You have not succeeded.
Oh, so
You
sorry.
have scandalized young children who are watching this
That's
with
right.
their mothers.
We should apologize, the young children, although I'm hoping they're at school at this hour. What's it like to be in an environment where you're improvising? It's fun, right? It keeps your brain active and alert.
Oh, yeah. Anything that requires rehearsal, I've given up on. Like, anything where I can just show up and do a couple, like, warm-ups and then get to make stuff up. I'm really spoiled. We're all really spoiled.
Very spoiled.
But at the same time, that kind of concept, you know, is chaotic and fun, but it doesn't, you know, if you have a brain fart, then you're kind of screwed.
As long as you commit. We're both from the Groundlings, which is an improv school. And,
of course, we're familiar with the Groundlings.
So,
yes.
I teach there, and all I do is yell at students. Like, it doesn't matter as long as it looks like you know what you're doing. Then it looks like you know what you're doing.
About confidence.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that's fun, though, with puppets when we're improvising. Oh, and I should say, the show isn't entirely improvised. We also do really cool reenactments of pieces that my dad created when he was in his early 20s, and one even when he was a teenager. And so we do some of those pieces as well. So it's not all improvised. But the cool thing about puppets improvising is it's when they screw up, if they dry up, it's funny for everybody, even if you're the puppeteer. Even if I'm holding my hand up and it's like, I got nothing. Right. And the puppet's going, I got nothing. Yeah. And everyone's laughing, whereas that's a little bit easier for the audience, because if you're watching an actor dry up, it's kind of uncomfortable. But with puppets, if they dry up, it can, the other puppets are not going to be supportive. They're going to ream them for it, and it's actually even funnier.
Yeah, like earlier when Ted said that horrible word on live television.
Yeah, and I think I asked them backstage if I could say that, I believe they said no. And then what did I say? I did the word.
I think you said, of course I won't say that, and then of course.
Well, it was in my brain. Now I can't think of anything else.
Don't say anything else that's in your brain.
Okay.
Well, this will continue on
You're trying to get us in trouble. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in. Brian, Ted, Colleen, you don't want to miss this. Puppet Up Uncensored at the Montalban Theater in Hollywood for a limited 6 performances only. So tickets are still available. You want to check it out at puppetup.com.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
This weekend.
Yep, that's right. What made you decide you wanted to do this?
Are we done?
We made her. We made her come in.
You made her.
morning. Welcome to Good Day LA. 10:01 right here. Some of the stories we're covering for you. Let's begin with Gigi.
A very dramatic end to a 5-hour-long barricade that ended with a fire and the suspect finally being taken into custody. We're live.
Shocking news out of Great Britain this morning. Former Prince Andrew arrested over connections to Jeffrey Epstein.
And we've already seen plenty of it this week. Flooded streets and stalled vehicles. We're live in the San Fernando Valley as the latest round of rain is moving through.
Yeah, definitely seeing that rain, Mario, on the radar there for you guys in the valley. You can see the leading edge now crossing into Ventura County, LA County, and even portions of Orange County. How much rain can we expect with this storm? And is there any more? I'll let you know coming up in my complete forecast.
Thank you, Maria. Right back to Gigi. A house fire forces a barricaded burglary suspect to finally surrender to police in Pacoima this morning.
It was a really dramatic scene, and Gigi Gracia was there for all of it. A 5-hour standoff. Gigi.
This suspect did not want to give up. It was only when the house around him, the house he broke into, the one behind me here on Penny and Ralston in Pacoima, caught fire and the SWAT team went in to get him. Did they finally get this guy in custody? You are looking live at LA City Fire arson investigators together with LAPD and the folks who rent this home along with the person who owns the home. They are now doing an investigation to see exactly what caused the fire that started about 2 minutes after the LAPD SWAT team shot in some canisters of a tear gas-like chemical to force the suspect out. Now, take a look at the video. This is the moment as the house was burning that the SWAT team finally brought the suspect out. Neighbors telling police they knew who this guy was because he used to live in this neighborhood and had been terrorizing the area, assaulting one woman, they told police, and breaking into a vacant home, according to neighbors who lived here. This was 5 hours after this all started. It started at 2:40 this morning with a call of a burglary here on Penny. When police arrived, and you can see them there with the suspect. You're still looking at that video with the suspect. But this started again at 2:40 this morning with a call of the burglary. When police arrived, they say they saw the suspect jump out of a garage window, and then he began running through people's backyards. And there you see him in the ambulance. And as he ran, he was trying doors, trying to get into the houses until he finally got to this home here on Penny when he broke in either through an unlocked door or through a window. Now, inside the room he broke into was a woman who rents that room. Can you imagine her terror at 3 o'clock in the morning when this guy came storming in? Well, she immediately ran out. Police got her to safety, and the barricade was on. Now, at some moment, the suspect must have come out of the house and come into the front part of the house because that's where they eventually caught him. Again, the SWAT team was called in. They had their armored vehicles. They had their canine units. They used their bullhorns and speakers telling the suspect in both English and Spanish to come out. They called him by his first name. We could hear them saying, Esteban, come out, surrender peacefully now. He did not. And then those tear gas canisters, and then the fire, and finally he was in custody. Now, the house is home to several families who rent here. We spoke to Martha Martinez this morning. She's just grateful, even though she's lost everything. Her entire living room is burnt. She told me she's just grateful that her and her family are safe.
Well, I'm okay. I'm okay. We are okay, so it's the important thing.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Now, her and her husband, her 2 adult children, they all got to safety, as did that other woman who was renting the back room. As for the suspect, you see him there in that ambulance. It was reported he had some injuries, possibly even burns to his hands. It's unclear what started the fire. Again, it happened 2 minutes after those canisters were shot into the house. So there's only 2 possibilities here. Either the canister set something off or the suspect himself started started a fire. We have seen that happen many times before. He's at the hospital right now being checked out for those injuries. He will then be interviewed and booked. Right now he's facing multiple felony charges. Reporting live in Pacoima, I'm Gigi Graciette. Back to you.
Wild scene there. All right, Gigi, thank you. Now, a third storm is headed our way. It's raining where Gigi is. It's raining where Mario is as well.
Let's go to him right now, Sherman Oaks. And you've got the umbrella out still, Mario.
Yeah, that's right. It is officially here. It hasn't stopped raining for, I'd say, the last hour, maybe hour and 15 minutes. We're near the 405 in the Sepulveda Basin, and this is typically a spot that sees flooding when there is rain that moves through the area. We're not expecting the heavy downpours like we saw with these recent storms, but it has been coming down. So take a look at what these storms this week have done here in the San Fernando Valley. Heavy rain led to water-covered streets across several areas, including Sun Valley, and some freeway lanes flooded during heavier downpours, from stalled cars to flooded streets and road closures. Let's go to another part of the San Fernando Valley in North Hollywood, where several cars became stuck in deep water. This was on Tuesday, leaving drivers and vehicles stranded in the middle of flooded streets. You'll see a Metro bus forcing its way through floodwaters as drivers there wait for help or for conditions to improve. And drivers here in the valley this morning know all too well how quickly conditions can change. Take a listen.
Yesterday it was kind of crazy. I was on the 101 getting on the freeway over here, and I hydroplaned, even with these tires, you know? I mean, look at them, 35-inch tires, like, check them out over there. So the rain over here has been really, really scary, really crazy.
We live in California where you don't expect as much rain, so when it do rain, I think people get excited and they start speeding, and they don't realize how little water it takes for a person to hydroplane. So most of these crashes be solo spin out, unless they spin out into the middle lane, and then it's tragedy everywhere. So slow down, buckle up, and be safe.
And this is a look at flooding in Van Nuys, how we started the week with the first of 3 systems moving through, leaving more drivers stuck in floodwaters. So as more rain comes down, let's come back out here live. We're near Burbank and Sepulveda. Photographer Howard Wells showing you some of the runoff here building. And we are surprised to see that city services crews are out here repairing some of the potholes that we've been showing you live here on Good Day LA that has been creating problems for so many drivers that we've seen. So they are going to have their hands full over the next couple of days with new potholes because of this ongoing rain. For now, that's the latest here in Sherman Oaks. I'm Mario Ramirez. We'll send it back to you.
Quick to repair there.
Oh my gosh.
That's great, Mario.
Maybe it's because Mario's out there.
I know.
He's good luck.
I have some other spots that they could come to.
Let Mario know, and he'll let them know.
All right, Mario, thank you. There's shocking news this morning out of Great Britain. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, former Prince Andrew, was arrested over his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The charge, suspicion of misconduct in public office. The arrest comes as the former prince, his name surfaced again in newly released Epstein files. The UK investigation is looking at allegations the disgraced royal shared confidential trade information during his time as a UK government envoy. UK police are reportedly searching properties in Berkshire and Norfolk, and while authorities did not directly name him, details match the former prince, who is the 66-year-old younger brother of King Charles. Investigators claim the former prince maintained ties to Epstein and shared confidential information with him after previously saying he had cut all ties. The former prince has long denied doing anything wrong related to Epstein and previously settled a civil lawsuit brought on by one of Epstein's accusers. I spoke with a royal expert who addressed the gravity of this case.
This is the first time a senior royal in modern history has been arrested. You've had minor infractions with Zara Zindel and Princess Diana having speeding violations, and Princess Anne was convicted of a minor crime in the 2022 of the dangerous dogs violation, but she was not arrested. For a serious issue like this, you have to go back to the 17th century when King Charles I was arrested for treason in 1647. That is how big a deal this is. No royal member has been arrested in modern history.
Now, this unprecedented arrest marks the most serious legal step yet in former Prince Andrew's public fall from grace. He was stripped of his royal titles last year amid the fallout from his ties to Epstein and no longer carries out official royal duties. King Charles issued a personal statement this morning saying in part, quote, "Let me state clearly, the law must take its course. As this process continues, it would not be right for me to comment further on this matter. Meanwhile, my family and I will continue in our duty and service to you all." Under British law, police typically can't hold a suspect for longer than 24 hours without charges unless granted an extension by a court. A charge like this does carry a sentence of up to life in prison if convicted.
And there may be more Epstein bombshells to come. Congressman Ro Khanna of California and Thomas Massie of Kentucky pushing for the release of unredacted documents related to Epstein. The two say their redacted files are protecting wealthy and powerful men. And while we still don't know how today's arrest ties in that, Representative Khanna specifically has called out King Charles and the former prince last week about those connections and implications.
Well, the king has to answer what he knew about Andrew. And just stripping Andrew of a title is not enough. I mean, Andrew needs to come before our committee and start answering questions. I mean, look, if you have allegations of raping a young girl, I don't think the appropriate punishment is you no longer get to be a prince. There's got to be more than that.
We are waiting to see how this story unfolds, and we'll get you updates on the story throughout the day on Fox LA and the Fox Local app.
All right, let's turn to weather now. We have the third storm of 3 storms that we have been watching all week, and it is now moving into parts of Orange County and the Inland Empire as forecast. The computer models have really been on point with this and the timing, and so far we're getting those light to moderate rainfall, those showers, and then occasionally we'll get like a yellow return here, pop up some of those heavier downpours, but it's very brief. The good news with this system as it continues to move across the rest of SoCal is that this area of low pressure is actually the weakest of the 3 storms, and it should be moving quite quickly. We're going to get that line of showers. You'll know when that cold front has passed because you'll start to feel that northwesterly wind, and it is a much colder wind coming out of the northwest, and I suspect that will be around the latter part of this afternoon as we get into Ventura County and LA County, but it will still be impacting the afternoon, at least the early part of the commute this afternoon, with some light to moderate rain. That main front will be gone, I would say, by the evening, and certainly by later tonight we'll see that rain turn more showery, so it'll start to taper off, and by tomorrow that low will be well to our east, and we will start a slow warming trend, and the weekend does look good. That is my really great news. We deserve to dry out and get some sunshine and warm up just a little bit. In the meantime, it is not warm. It is cold out there in many spots, still in the low mid 40s. Pasadena just clicking up to 45 degrees right now, 46 in Burbank, 49 in Santa Monica. Big Bear just 28 degrees to that 57 in Palm Springs. Highs will not be very high, only around 62 in Palm Springs, 33 up into Big Bear with plenty more snow expected. Downtown LA, valleys, Inland Empire only in the mid 50s. I'll send it back to you.
Maria, thank you. The search for Nancy Guthrie into its 3rd week now, and officials are asking the public to remain vigilant. This as law enforcement keeps working with Walmart to find someone who may have purchased the items seen on surveillance footage outside of Nancy Guthrie's home.
And teams hope advanced DNA testing technology can provide some answers. Rebecca Castor is in Tucson with the very latest on the investigation. Good morning, Rebecca.
Sandra Aroxia, good morning. 19 days into this frustrating investigation, authorities are working off very few credible leads. Hundreds of state and federal officers are working this investigation, but they are still waiting to name a suspect.
It is a little more graphic and chilling than the previous one.
TMZ founder Harvey Levin says a highly sophisticated new ransom note received Wednesday is demanding $6 million in a different cryptocurrency than Bitcoin for Nancy Guthrie.
They graphically describe the consequences if they're not paid.
The FBI has not confirmed whether the ransom notes sent to TMZ and other media outlets are actually connected to the crime, but it comes as the reward for information leading to Nancy's discovery has risen past $200,000. This includes rewards being put up by the FBI, the county's Crime Stoppers program, and a large donation from a Milwaukee-based donor.
He was in there 41 minutes. Doing what?
Investigators are still analyzing DNA found inside the home to attempt to identify the masked person caught on surveillance footage outside Nancy's home. they're also turning to genetic genealogy testing, a process that helped investigators in Idaho identify Brian Kohberger. Earlier DNA tests this week found no matches in the FBI's tracking system.
And use forensic genetic genealogy to figure out who someone is or who their nearest, living relative is.
Genealogy experts say family trees can be built in just a matter of days, but it's narrowing it down to a suspect that could take time. Roxy and Sandra, back to you.
All right, Rebecca, thank you. Keep us posted on any developments there.
10:16, still to come, why hundreds of local casino workers could soon be out of a job thanks to a change in state law.
And Brooke is checking out some sweet rides this morning.
Hey there, Black heritage is everywhere, right? And this is a really cool way to think about history, where you've seen some of these cool cars before. I'm calling it an adult toy store, but it's a kid toy store too. I'll show you after the break.
And we do have a little bit of traffic now, especially that the rain is falling. Good day, LA traffic brought to you by My Home Sold. We do have some light to moderate showers, kind of slowing you down a little bit. Let's take a look at one of our live traffic cameras here. This is the northbound 101 at Balboa out in the valley. And you can see definitely those roads are wet. I still believe these cars are going too fast. You need to slow it down, guys. The northbound side is here on the left-hand side of your screen. Here are the drive times in and out of downtown LA. On that West 10 going towards Santa Monica between the 5 to the 405, about 32 minutes. Northbound 110 between the 405 to the 10, 19 minutes. And on that West 60 between the 57 to the 5, 28 minutes there. Here's a look at some of the other traffic hotspots.
Hello, I'm Adrian Hernandez with MyHomeSold.com, and we want to buy your house cash. We'll give you a cash offer for your house today. Sell your house the easy way with no commissions, no fees, no repairs. For free, no obligation cash offer. Go to MyHomeSold.com.
Welcome back. California is banning blackjack in card rooms starting in April. It's closing a loophole that allowed non-tribal venues to offer casino-style games. The move looks to uphold tribal gaming rights, but it could cost thousands of jobs and millions in tax revenue, especially in those cities in LA County that rely on gambling income. Card room operators plan legal challenges and say the rule is devastating.
Around 15% of homes in California don't have access to high-speed internet. That's according to a new report from UC Riverside. Affordability was cited as the biggest barrier in getting to it, and researchers have found that the average monthly cost of internet can range from $70 to $80. Experts calling for internet providers to publicly disclose things like service, speeds, pricing, reliability, metrics, and areas of coverage.
All right, there's a very special display happening during Black Heritage Month.
Brooke is live at Beverly Hills Car Club with all of that. Oh my goodness, how many cars are in that facility?
Oh wait, how many cars are in here? They want to know.
650.
Did you hear that?
How many?
650.
Oh my
650.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this place is gigantic. It was funny. Actually, I was just talking to Alex, and you just told a cool story. If you could share just how, you know, when you first started this, you just had one small space. Correct. Here. You didn't have this massive warehouse, right. And you were worried about what?
Yeah, I mean, we brought the cars in, and there was about 30 cars in the back of the warehouse, and I looked back and I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to fill this up? And you know, now you can't even breathe in here.
You figured it out.
Yes, exactly.
It's cool. Is that a really cool success story? And a lot of cool history in here. This is one of my favorite stories because this one is a way to honor Ford's first black designer. Do I have that right?
Exactly.
Okay, tell me about this car because it's really cool.
This is a 1973 Ford Bronco, and McKinley Thompson Jr. was Ford's first black automotive designer.
Wow.
And he helped the early contributions with Bronco and with Mustangs.
That's really cool.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really, really sensational. And it just goes to show that we all have so much to offer and to share.
Yeah.
And to
give
help.
them that chance.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, look at these cars that we were just talking with Carlos off air. That, you know, these cars used to be $30,000 and now they're $100,000.
He's somehow trying to put them all in his pocket.
Absolutely.
You got to watch him.
You got to keep a close eye on Carlos.
I mean, listen. Let me tell you guys. Okay, can I just come back to you guys really quickly because there are signs all over this place, okay, that very clearly in red letters say "Do not touch." Why is this man opening doors, embarrassing me? Like
That's what he does.
Okay.
Wait, you're with Carlos.
So he's allowed to. That's okay.
No, it's cool. Okay, so this one, there's a connection between World War II, Tuskegee Airmen, and this car, right?
Yeah, this is a 1948 Ford Super Deluxe.
This is a gorgeous car.
It's got a metallic paint job, and it's hot rodded and just ready to go and have fun.
Wow.
And like we were saying before, you know, each car is a kind of a character.
Each car is a character. Okay, what else are you going to show me in here?
Okay, so and by the way, you're a character too. So
okay, I'll take it.
Okay. So you have this right here is a 1965 Ford Mustang Fastback, and just, I mean, it's sensational. It's Cascade green. It's a manual transmission. They just don't make cars like this anymore. Yeah. You know, they have so much charisma and personality, and if you drive these cars, you go around the block. I mean, if you were depressed, you're not anymore.
You're not anymore, yeah. I'm honestly,
medication all on its own.
Just sitting in it. I completely agree. Okay, so, you know, I just want to ask you more about you because I love that this started as like a passion for you, and then you started like self-funding the passion through this, and now this is a monster on its own. You have a really cool success story. How does it feel, though, to be able to have turned your hobby into your career?
You know, it's sensational. It feels so amazing. Sometimes I tell myself, like, if I would have known it was going to be this much work, though, maybe I would have taken a different path. But I love what you do, so it's okay. But it's a lot of effort.
Yeah,
it's a lot, you know what I mean? It's a lot of effort to keep it going, make it happen. But when you literally, that famous quote everyone talks about, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. I work all day, all night, and I love it because I love these cars.
I love that.
You know?
I tell you, I really, really love what I do, but when my alarm goes off at 2 a.m., it still feels like work. Okay, back to you guys in the studio.
2 a.m. feels like 2 a.m. no matter what. Yeah.
It's still okay no matter what, but I am happy, okay?
Yeah.
3 a.m.
All right.
A little early.
Yes.
For anybody.
Keep an eye on that Carlos there, the troublemaker.
That's right.
Very cool, though. Thank you, Brooke. Coming up, look at him. A 27-foot-long whale gets breached on the shores of Newport's Balboa Island. Why officials could not do anything about it, though, we'll show you.
And why experts say they don't expect a spectacular firefall to happen this year at the Yosemite. Taking a look at our top stories right now, LAPD SWAT teams bring a more than 5-hour barricade to an end in Pacoima. Somehow a fire started inside and the suspect was reportedly hurt. The man broke into the house just after 2:30 this morning. The residents managed to escape.
Shocking news out of Great Britain this morning. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former Prince Andrew, has been arrested over his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The former royal is facing a charge of suspicion of misconduct in public office.
Caltrans has closed a 3.6-mile stretch of Topanga Canyon Boulevard due to today's storm. The precautionary closure is tied to forecasts calling for steady rainfall that could trigger debris flow in recently burned and storm-damaged areas. The closed roadway is between Pacific Coast Highway and Grandview Drive.
Yeah, there is that chance today because there's also still a slight chance for some thunderstorms, and that can certainly trigger not just flooding, but some of those debris flows. So just stay alert as we get through the morning and the afternoon before things start to taper off. But it will be cold. We've got the rain, the mountain snow, and those gusty winds. The good news is it will be mostly dry this weekend, and we will get more sunshine. We do have another storm that I'm watching, so we'll see if it actually materializes, but it'll be for next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. In the meantime, we have had some impressive storms that have rolled through. 1 and 2. Lytle Creek got over 8.5 inches of rain between those two storms. Mount Baldy, 5.31 inches. Bel Air, look at that, over 3 inches and a third. Laguna Beach, even an inch of rain so far. We're going to add to that because we are expecting more rain. The snow total is also very impressive. Mountain High with 28 to 38 inches. Bear Mountain there with up to 36 inches over the last couple of storms. Lake Arrowhead, impressive 20 inches of fresh powder. As far as how much more rain we can expect, additionally, not as much as the first and second. We're thinking around a half an inch total. As we get to the lunch hour, maybe we'll get about a third of an inch in Burbank. Out towards Pasadena, about a third as well in downtown LA. And now as we get going through the afternoon, another 1/10 of an inch or more. Total, like I said, maybe a third to a half an inch for the coast and valleys as we get into tonight, and a little bit more over the mountains and foothills. So certainly not as much. This storm is a lot weaker than the last two storms, so I don't suspect any major impacts, but there is just that chance for some thunderstorms, and that's why we're saying stay alert for the possibility of some flooding. 41 degrees tonight into early tomorrow morning for those temperatures, so it's going to be even colder tomorrow, barely out of the 30s as you're waking up in Ontario, about 39 in Riverside to that 37 in Corona. I'll show you the 70 forecast in just a couple minutes. Back to you.
Maria, thank you. Big winter storms hitting California may make it impossible to catch the annual spectacle that is at Yosemite National Park. Look how beautiful this is. This is called the Fire Fall. Every February, people actually travel to Yosemite to see the horsetail waterfall seemingly turn into this lava-like stream. It happens because of the way the light actually hits for a few days every February. But this year, the cloudy conditions are keeping the optical illusion from happening. Oh, that's too bad. It's pretty incredible, though. And now imagine how much more amazing it is in person, if this is what it looks like on video, right?
I know. They'll have to wait for next year. All right. Well, new video from Newport Beach of a beached whale. This video coming in from the Citizens app. It looks to be a humpback whale washed up between 10th and 11th Streets on the Balboa Peninsula there. The 27-foot whale was first spotted offshore just before 2 p.m. yesterday. Authorities are assessing how this whale died and how to get it off the popular beach. Heavy winds and rough sea conditions made it impossible for a tow vessel to remove the 10-ton mammal yesterday.
Members of the House Oversight Committee went to Ohio to question the founder of Victoria's Secrets as part of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Billionaire Les Wexner telling lawmakers that he knew nothing about Epstein's crimes, saying that he was conned by a man he claimed lived a double life. Epstein managed Wexner's finances for nearly 2 decades, from the late 80s until 2007. In 2019, FBI documents listed Wexler as a potential co-conspirator, but he has never been charged.
The real reason Jeffrey Epstein was able to get away with raping and abusing children, young women, boys, young men for so many years was because of the vast amounts of money that he was able to acquire, and that largely came from Les Wexner.
Next week, former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton are scheduled to testify before the committee behind closed doors. We'll bring you the developments as they happen.
Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg took the stand in an LA courtroom testifying in a landmark trial about social media addiction. As Jeff Paul reports, his company is accused of designing platforms to be intentionally addictive, causing harm to kids and teens.
Are Facebook and Instagram designed to be addictive? That was the focus of questioning of Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg Wednesday in Los Angeles in a landmark trial that could shape the future of social media. The plaintiff is a 20-year-old woman who signed up for Instagram when she was 9 years old and says early addiction to social media put her on a path towards depression and suicidal thoughts. Unearthed internal messaging at Meta shows researchers were aware the platforms were addictive, comparing them to drugs. The plaintiff's attorney cited a 2016 email from Zuckerberg that set a goal of increasing the amount of time people spent on the platform by 12%.
He knew perfectly well what was going on. The intention of the company was to
prey on teens, use teens' usage, exploit them so they can make greater profits. And that was done intentionally, not by accident.
Spending hours on the stand, Zuckerberg acknowledged his at times awkward public persona, saying, quote, "I'm sort of well known to be very bad at this," but pushed back on the assertion the platforms are intentionally designed to hook people. Parents who lost children to social media addiction say they aren't buying it.
I believe we're going to see a lot more evidence this week, not only internal communications through email, but also their own research that showed that these platforms were dangerous and they didn't do enough to stop it.
The outcome of the case could determine how thousands of other similar lawsuits play out. In Los Angeles, Jeff Paul, Fox News.
The U.S. will host G20 finance leaders in Asheville, North Carolina from August 31st to September 1st. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that the meeting highlights America's strong economy and focuses on result-driven collaboration. Asheville was chosen to showcase the region's recovery after the Hurricane Helene. A G20 Leaders Summit will follow in December at Trump National Doral in Miami. And this marks the first since 2009 the U.S. is hosting the G20, which aligns with America's 250th anniversary celebrations.
Armenian officials are in Southern California this week. They are meeting with community members following what they're calling a historic moment in the United States and the US-Armenia relations. The chief advisor to the Prime Minister of Armenia says Vice President J.D. Vance's visit marked a turning point for the strategic partnership between the two countries.
Last week's historic visit by U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance was an important milestone because it was the first time a sitting vice president has visited Yerevan, first of all, but it also signifies the depth of the relations between Armenia and the United States, and that the strategic partnership that was signed last year is not just a piece of paper, but things are happening on the ground practically.
The visit included agreements on peaceful nuclear cooperation, expanding energy collaboration, and growing defense ties. A key part of this trip is to also engage and inform the Armenian American community here in Los Angeles, one of the largest in the world, about rapid developments back in Armenia.
Very important developments have taken place between Armenia and the United States recently. As one of the biggest communities in the world, I think Armenian Americans should feel empowered by the recent developments between our two governments. So it is very important for us to keep them informed, and in case there is anything that we can do to engage them in projects, hopefully, and in future economic and trade projects, that would be very important for us.
Officials say discussions this week will focus on bilateral relations, regional peace efforts, economic cooperation, and addressing misinformation ahead of Armenia's upcoming elections.
Hello there.
Hello.
So you're starting off the weekend early.
I am. I'm wearing my furry Friday on a Thursday.
Throwing me off.
I know.
Here tomorrow.
Because I'm not here, so we're having Thursday. There we go. It's my Friday. Good Day LA Entertainment is sponsored by Yamaba Resort and Casino. Ladies, pop quiz. Sorry.
Oh, no.
The first rule of Fight Club.
You don't talk about Fight Club. That I know.
You do not talk about Fight Club. We all know this. But, you know, we also know that there's exceptions to every rule.
What do you want me to do? You just want me to hit you? Come on, do me this one favor. Why? Why? I don't know why. I don't know. Never been in a fight. You? No, but that's a good thing. No, it is not. How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight.
Ooh, touche.
That's great.
David Fincher's film Fight Club, starring Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, is coming back to the big screen for a limited engagement. Now, how limited? One night only.
Oh my.
Yeah, the theatrical,
very limited.
very limited. The theatrical re-release is April 22nd. You could also bring it home on 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray on May 12th. Perfect gift for Mother's Day, right?
Totally.
There will also be a companion Fight Club 25th anniversary art book. I like that for the coffee table. Very nice. Which includes some behind-the-scenes content. It's I think it's one of Brad Pitt's, one of his best movies.
I like that movie.
For sure. All right, well, yesterday kicked off Lent for the Catholic community who observe, which means we're counting down until Easter Sunday, and Fox is celebrating this spring season with the women of the Bible.
I thought my purpose was elsewhere.
But I don't need to keep looking anymore. I should have known you wouldn't understand. Hey, girl, don't you dare! Rachel's my own sister. After all I have given you.
The Faithful Women of the Bible, starring Minnie Driver and Jeffrey Donovan, debuts Sunday, March 22nd, and it's going to be a 3-week event with the finale on Easter Sunday. The Faithful is about discovering and losing love, the challenges of marriage, and the joys and heartbreak of children, focusing on the Old Testament and the legendary women, a part of it including Sarah, played by Minnie Driver. And speaking of two people who have remained faithful to their marriage, we want to give a shout out because earlier we shared that 10 to 15% of married couples renew their vows. One of our viewers, Alvino, sent in his vow renewal pics with his beautiful wife, Ophelia.
That's so nice.
That's sweet. I know. They renewed their vows to celebrate their 25th anniversary with their friends and family, and most of their friends and family were actually there when they originally got married.
Oh, that's nice.
June 4th, 1994. They're celebrating their 32nd wedding anniversary this year, so happy early anniversary to Alvino and Ophelia.
That's beautiful. It looks like an actual wedding.
It looks like the wedding
it's
itself.
Like the first time.
They need to do a 1994 pic and then that one.
It says a lot that they had most of the same people at this event.
Right. And they said most of their bridal party, too, except 2 people.
Mine would look very different.
Yours would look very Well, I would be there now. And Sandra.
Yes, it would look very different.
Very different. Thank you for sending that in. I love, he's such a donor.
Congratulations. Yeah. And have a nice weekend. We'll see you when you get back.
Thank you. See you next week.
All right, last hour we asked you, are you a bargain shopper? And here are the results. You love a deal. 61% of you. Yep, go save that money. All right, a proposed billionaire tax is sparking a heated political fight right here in California. Vermont Democratic Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders rallied support last night at the Wiltern in Koreatown for a 5% tax on the net worth of assets valued at over $1 billion. The goal is to fund health services for low-income Californians. Backed by healthcare unions, the proposal has divided Democrats. Governor Gavin Newsom opposes it, saying it could hurt California's economy, while Sanders calls it a step towards addressing wealth inequity.
We are looking at a moment in history where never before have so few people had so much wealth and so much power.
The proposed billionaire tax is intended at offsetting federal health care cuts. Supporters say it could protect coverage for millions, while opponents argue it might cost jobs and hurt state revenue. More than 870,000 signatures are needed to get it on November's ballot. A lottery-style state program opens next week to help people apply for a down payment on a house. The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program reopens for applications Tuesday and runs through March 16th. The program offers eligible first-generation home buyers up to 20% in down payment assistance. The program uses a unique loan structure in which home buyers don't make monthly payments. Instead, when the buyer sells or refinances, they repay the original loan amount plus 15% of the home's appreciation. Applicants must also be pre-approved by a Cal HFA-approved lender to submit their entry.
It really does target those who really haven't ever had an opportunity in their family to own a home. And this is, I think, a great first step, because owning a home conceivably really can change your life.
Even if you get everything in on time and you qualify, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get picked, because the funds do go very quickly. Last year, 18,000 people applied, but only 2,000 people were accepted statewide.
And so let's talk about the rain that is falling now through parts of the Inland Empire and Orange County. This is all part of storm number 3, the last of a series of storms that we have been talking about this week. That's the good news. It's also not as potent as the last couple. That being said, however, I'm picking up some heavier cells here. You can see the yellows and the oranges. So these are some stronger cells embedded in the cold front that's moving through. So this is parts of the valley right now, falling some heavier downpours. So that can cause some flooding. As of now, I don't see any flood watches or advisories. So that's the good news. Hopefully it will continue to just keep moving along. As we take a look at the mountains, we are definitely seeing some snow, especially up above 5,000 and 6,000 feet. That will continue throughout the morning into the afternoon. In fact, as we take a look at future snow for Big Bear Lake, maybe another 4 inches to 8+ inches of snow expected there through tomorrow morning. So that's great news for our local mountain communities. And as we take a look at the alerts that are in place, we still have the winter storm warning for the mountains. So travel up to the high country, really sketchy still. So I would suggest you wait until the storm has passed. We have some gusty winds along with that snow, so blowing snow, and those wind gusts still expected to get even as strong as 55, even some isolated areas getting up to 65 miles per hour. So that can be really hazardous for you if you are out in the road. So I would just wait, if you can, please, until it's passed. 59 degrees along our coast with the sunshine expected this weekend. That's the great news. We'll get a chance to dry out and kind of warm up just a little bit. Downtown LA 56 with the rain tapering off to some light showers as we get to the afternoon and evening commute. That will be done by tonight, and you'll feel it. It will get really cold, and those winds will shift out of the northwest. That's when you'll know when that front has passed. Temperatures will be very cold, actually, as you wake up tomorrow morning. 56 in the valleys in the Inland Empire, around 33 up into the mountains in Big Bear with the snow chances continuing. Another opportunity next week out towards our high desert areas, 48 degrees, and even in the Coachella Valley, there is a chance for some showers today, but much more sunshine and warmer temperatures as we get into this coming weekend. Sunday, Monday, getting up close to 80. Back to you.
All right, Maria, thank you. The Artemis 2 mission would take astronauts around the moon for the first time in half a century. And today, NASA is gearing up for another practice run. Amy Gallo joins us live from Cape Canaveral with all the details. Hi there, Amy.
Hi. NASA calls this a wet dress rehearsal, and the best way to think of this is as a full-blown practice countdown. They're going to be fueling the rocket and doing just about everything they would do for a real launch, except for actually pressing and, starting the ignition. This is the second test run for Artemis 2 in weeks. NASA engineers stopped the clock at T-minus 5 minutes during a test earlier this month due to a liquid hydrogen leak, and that's the exact kind of kink that these rehearsals aim to work out, all to make sure the rocket and crew are ready for the first manned flight around the moon in over 50 years. The simulated launch is scheduled for 8:30 p.m. Eastern, with a 4-hour window for the test. I caught up with Jose Hernandez, a former NASA astronaut and engineer. He calls these test runs critical and says he's optimistic about this one.
In the first dress rehearsal, the interface of the liquid hydrogen to the tanks, there was a leak, and that's not new because Artemis 1 had the same issue, and a lot has to do with the seals or the temperature. Right now, they've replaced the seals. The temperature is warmer than what it was on the first wet dress rehearsal, so we expect it to pass with flying colors.
NASA's currently eyeing March as the potential time frame for the actual launch of Artemis 2, but they won't make any release as to what the real date will be until they have had a successful rehearsal. That's why tonight's rehearsal is so important. Sandra?
All right, we'll see what happens. Thank you so much, Amy. On to this now. We have a happy update on a little monkey who got rejected by his mom and has been using a stuffed animal as a substitute. And let's take a live look here at a wet and rainy LAX. Be careful out there. Welcome back. Hearts were breaking all over the world over the story of Punch, a baby monkey at a Japanese zoo that was rejected by his mother. This video of little Punch dragging around a stuffed animal given to him as a substitute for his mom. It really tugged at the heartstrings around the globe. But now, good news. It seems the rest of the troop of macaque monkeys he lives with have decided to accept the little orphan and look after him. Other monkeys have been seen grooming him, which is an important social activity that signals bonding, trust, and acceptance. Punch has been seen playing with other members of the group, and in one case, got a big monkey hug from an older member. However, the love is not universal. One of the elder males is still bullying Punch. So you just never know, you know. There's always family drama, even with monkeys. All right, thanks for joining us. We have so much more on DDLA Plus. Don't go away.
Bye.